named the last podcast episode 27. It wasn't. It was definitely episode 26. So my count was off. It's now corrected. Just to give you guys an update. I'll give you guys a heads up, just in case any of you guys are confused of why it says episode 27 like twice or some shit like that. But it should be all fixed. And iTunes should be updated as well. With all the episodes. So let me just make sure I'm paying attention. And let's do this. All right.
Do it.
Babe.
What? Hey, cool.
Oh my God, you're gonna do this to me. Oh,
What?
all right. So episode 27. We are back. Happy New Year, everyone. Please, everybody, introduce yourself.
All right.
I'm gonna start with Frog.
What's going on? It's Frog with Dope Gaming. I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to get this year started off really good, and let's talk about it.
Okay, and Grind My Gears. How are you planning on to start?
Yo, what's up? Happy New Year, guys. Just Grinds My Gears, Jed7780 on Twitter. I'm glad to be back. 2018. It's gonna be a fun year, man. I can't wait.
Yeah. And Cycle, what's up? Good to see you.
What's up, man? Good to see you too. Good to see everybody. It's a Cycle Gamer. It's Cycle on YouTube and Cycle Gamer on Twitter. Happy New Year, everybody.
All right. And then shouts out to Merc305 joining us for the first time.
Yo.
Please let them know who you are, just in case if many aren't familiar with you. If they are, remind them. If they're not, let them know.
All right. Happy New Year's, everybody. Smooth. Thanks for having me on. It's Merc305 on every single social media platform and every single gaming platform. Looking forward to talking some games.
Awesome. And yeah, I opened up a little small nip. I don't know if you guys are, if you're located on the East Coast, it's very fucking cold. I ran out of ideas of what I can do to keep me warm. But if you take a shot of like some Captain Morgan or something like that, it should warm you up temporarily. I will be good for at least 20 minutes. So this is not like
I'm doing that
getting
right
drunk or anything like that. I'm just trying to keep myself warm and prevent myself from getting sicker than what I really am. I'm not an alcoholic.
Are you gonna start singing?
No.
Okay.
This is not enough. This is just to get me warm. Okay, this is just to get me warm. So I am just to give you guys a heads up. Kid Smooth is not drinking or an alcohol abuser. I'm just taking this to get my body warm so I can enjoy the show for you guys. So by the way, I am the best spot, Kid Smooth.
You know we're gonna request that encore.
2018 remix version. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the drink that I used during the holidays, man, was Fireball and apple cider heated up, hot toddy. And that keeps you warm real good.
Oh yeah, hot toddy.
I drink that all Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize CSAs was coming on this year. Or was on right now. Bonnie to find a new fucking day to do that. Where that show is like fucking 5 hours long anyway, so you can watch this and catch up on the CSAs. Let's go. All right, so there's a couple things that happened over. Not really a couple things that happened at all, but it was some last minute things. Microsoft is discontinuing the Kinect adapter. That's bad news for Grind My Gears. How's that making you feel? I know you have such a huge connection with the Kinect, and they're slowly killing it off. And this is the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah. The thing is I knew, like, we all knew that the Kinect was done. They said they would stop making it, but the thing that they're stopping the adapter, though, that really, it's messed up, because like you could still hook that thing up to the X and the S, but without the adapter, that thing is really done. And kind of my whole thing is I look at it from a larger perspective, and the fact that right after they released the X, the whole reason why it's called Xbox One is the same family. All your accessories and devices are going to work across the platforms, and then now
all your relevant accessories.
Well, yeah, I guess they're talking about controls and headsets, but the thing is, and I got into it with a guy with Twitter on it. Was like, he's like, well, they're still supporting it. And I'm like, well, how can they support something that does not connect to the console? Kinect can't connect. it cannot connect to a console. Like, I understand it'll work if you could find an adapter somewhere, but that thing being now it shot up to $300 on eBay. I checked the Microsoft store. It's not in the Microsoft store at all. GameStop has it not order. You can't order it for $40. And if you look at the reviews, all people like, hey, I just bought an Xbox One X for Christmas and I can't connect my Kinect camera to it for the kids. They want to do their Just Dance, or they want to do their, some games. They want to play some games, and I have to buy this adapter, and now I can't find it. And you look at the reviews, like, people were saying that. So yeah, it is messed up about the adapter. Like, I understand the Kinect going away, but the adapter, I thought, was kind of shitty to all the legacy people who maybe skipped the S or missed that promotional period, and then and now can't get the adapter.
Yeah, the adapter. I don't understand. I think the adapter should have remained. I understand discontinuing, I guess, the Kinect but it's weird because they just released the adapter last year around the Xbox One S. So last August, it came out to support the Xbox One S, so you can use your Kinect and shit with that, and it makes no sense of making it. So pretty much they're officially closing out the Kinect, and I think the reason why they're getting rid of the adapter is because the Xbox, I guarantee you, in about a month or two, the Xbox One X or the Xbox One won't recognize Kinect commands at all. Shit just won't work. Just dead from the system.
That would suck, man.
It would, but you gotta think about it.
Cortana, I guess.
With every update to the Xbox One's user interface, you've been less of a need for Kinect, a feature, whether it be Snap, whether it be voice command or motion controls, has been slowly going out to the point where, well, how do I use the Kinect with this thing? That's how it is. Now it's limited to just the Kinect games. And another Boomball Kinect game did just recently come out in the last month. So just for those who are interested about
and
Kinect
that's
games.
the thing too. You can still buy Kinect software. It's in the store. It's in the Microsoft store. It's in they're selling it. I even saw it in Game Pass, and even Kinect games like that Kung Fu Kinect game was on sale. They were on sale during the holidays. So how can they still push software when there should be a big disclaimer going, you better have a Kinect and you bet there's an adapter. It's not really clear in the fact that they faded this thing out. They kind of shoved it under the rug and was just Kinect's done, and that adapter, that's gone too now. So this thing is dead. And I got 2 Kinects now sitting in my house, which they're worth $4, $5 at GameStop trade-in, and they're selling them for $15. And it's just throw it in the garbage, really, which is a shame. It really sucks.
Yeah, it sucks to me too.
That thing was $100 premium on.
It was.
For me, I wonder, with this whole getting rid of Kinect, I wonder what their future is with VR or AR, because Kinect, to me, I feel like the Kinect will work well or hand in hand with a VR system should they decide to put it on there, or an AR system.
Well, they repurposed the Kinect in HoloLens, which again, another device that I don't know where that thing's been in beta for 3 years or whatever, but they put
HoloLens is already out. It's officially out. It's just
it's developer for $3,000 in the Microsoft store. It's not consumer.
Yeah, HoloLens.
Yeah, HoloLens, which that's where they repurpose it. But the thing is again, I pulled back from this thing, and I know people who cares about Kinect? That's the reason why Microsoft lost this generation. And I saw people saying that stuff. I look at a larger picture of it, and it really just does. It's just another thing that goes, how do I have confidence in devices for this country? They canceled. The Groove is over now. That music service is dead as of the 1st of January. Now the Kinect, which they go back to 2015, Phil was still saying, oh, you'll see Kinect games, and I think with HoloLens you'll see more Kinect support and stuff like that. They were still talking it up. It wasn't just Don Matrick. Phil did carry some of that over in this first year or two. So it just doesn't give me the confidence yet again in Xbox. I don't. I just
Kinect. Here's the thing. I get it.
And devices. Like,
To me, I see where it became. I was a big Kinect fan during the 360 days when they actually had like the rollout of games and stuff like that. During the Xbox One days, it was just like, all right, cool. I mean, I loved it for like Upload Studio, and I think they had something going. If they would have supported it, like
updated,
they should. I felt like they had something going with that. But for games and stuff, I really didn't really care for it. It was like, all right, when Dance Central come out and when Kinect Sports come out, I'll use it. Otherwise, I'm not using Kinect. The Kinect, like how I did for the 360. I wasn't even using like the voice commands and stuff anymore. I used to say Xbox on. That was my favorite thing. Xbox on and Xbox record. That was actually, that was, I like that. I did like that very much. But the thing is, here's how I look at what happens with Microsoft, right? There was more people and more of a public outcry that spoke against Kinect for the Xbox One than they did for it. And
there's a reason for that, though.
The problem is like when you're being told, hey, we don't want Kinect, and then you finally slowly phase it out, and every step that you take to phase it out, now you're getting pushed back. Oh, there's consumer confidence. They're getting rid of everything, but after being told how bad you didn't want it. It was removed from the box.
I understand that to get rid of the camera, though. I'm just the adapter, though. That kind of not really solidifies their promise in that everything works across devices.
Well,
and that's where it's like the promise.
If you're getting rid of the camera, you might as well get rid of the adapter too. But my thing is, like, it was an awesome piece of tech. I think it was great. I think Microsoft just fucked the whole thing up when they bundled it with the system. It was like where you had to buy it. You know what I'm saying? If you want the system, you had to get it. If they would have came out of the gate,
out there with that thing sitting there,
that's what I'm saying. But if they would have came out of the gate and made it an option out of the gate, advertising and kept putting games out for it, then I think we'll be in a different scenario right now. Now, I mean, they can't.
Yeah, they were very upset that Kinect Sports didn't make it as a launch title, and I know that was annoyed. That bothered them a lot because they wanted it to have something to support it like on launch day, out of the box, and they didn't. But yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you do? It's damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know, remember the Xbox One console itself was handicapped by the Kinect, and they had to get rid of some of the support to open up the system to compete more with PlayStation
to get resolution.
Yeah.
Smooth. I agree with you, but just for perception of the Xbox brand, they should have just continued supporting the Kinect. Just from a perception perspective.
What perception though? If the majority of the reaction to Kinect was negative, from press, from fans, from consumers, was telling you we don't want Kinect. Right. How would that help their perception?
It's just from the perception that I guess people have of Microsoft that they just drop, you know, like for example, they just dropped Groove, for example, like how was mentioned earlier. This is just another product that Microsoft has stopped supporting that they said they were going to support across the Xbox One family. You know what I mean?
Microsoft does what most businesses do. If you can't really compete or survive, you get rid of it. Now, Groove has been rebranded several times. And I didn't really care for the name Groove, but I think all platforms should have their own music service, but since we moved from the standard CD, MP3 shit to like the streaming things, that was going to be hard to do. Like, because here's the thing, even like the streaming service, you got. I'm sorry, wow, I'm about to like. I apologize. I have like this bad cold.
Encore, baby, encore.
No, so you have Spotify, right? That's been like ruling the streaming service, and you have Apple, who could easily come into the streaming department because they have a household of devices that hundreds upon hundreds of millions of people own, whether it be your iPhone, your iPad, or your what the fuck is the iTouch? They even sell that shit anymore? iMac and stuff. Yeah, where you can like buy in it, or like, okay, we'll just turn the iTunes into Apple Music. Boom, done. Right. So it was like nobody had to buy into Apple Music, and they already had a customer base that, like, most Apple, who's gonna use Tidal or Spotify? You don't need to use Spotify. Apple Music is a premier service. I think it's one of the better service of the other streaming services. And then you have
Google Play.
Google Play, another option that's already available
Music
to
too.
hundreds
Established, yeah.
upon hundreds of millions of people. Microsoft, sure, music service is like, okay, we have Xbox and we have our Windows phones that does not have a large install base.
I understand, but look at the big picture, though, man. So now talk about Mixer. Are you confident in streaming from Mixer and getting subscribers?
Well,
in there?
Mixer is dead. It's just for gaming, so anybody can
But
use
that's
Mixer.
a third wheel, though. In that Twitch is big, YouTube is big, and now they introduced Mixer.
But Mixer is able to offer something that Twitch and YouTube doesn't have. Stream like YouTube, obviously, it's a foundation is there. It's just a click of a button to add streaming, right? That they did with YouTube because it didn't have streaming before. And then Twitch obviously broke grounds with the streaming. And then Mixer is just that. I would say it's a better version. They need help. They need help because there's some basic functions that Mixer should have that both YouTube and Twitch have.
Groove needed a better Android app, and they never really gave it. The best experience of Groove was on Windows.
I'm not too concerned about really Mixer because, like I said, there's people are coming on board. All you need is the streamers. The service is there. Anybody can use it. You can stream the Mixer from your PC. PC gaming and Xbox should be able to help that. And hell, if all fails, shit, YouTube will become the standard on Xbox to use. So
I'll be honest with you.
If you want YouTube streaming on Xbox, Mixer has to fail badly. It really has to fail for that.
I'll be honest with
Google's
you.
not going to allow it, though.
Huh?
Google's not going to allow it. Just like they were real. Google and Microsoft are butt heads a lot on their services. Just like there was no YouTube app for Windows Phone, like an official YouTube app. So I don't know, but they need streaming to YouTube. But I'm just saying, like with the Groove going out, I'm just saying you look at the big picture. It's like here's Microsoft introducing another service that's other people have already established. What confidence? I'm just saying, like who's going to pick up and go there? Seeing this kind of keep doing, and that's where.
Well, with Mixer, you say Mixer or Groove?
Mixer, like who knows?
Well, Mixer
is from now. They're like, hey, Mixer didn't work, guys. Let's pull it.
It's a new thing. Here's the thing. The thing about with streaming and what Microsoft does have on their side is the ability to a streamer will go to a stream program if you have a partner program, and Mixer, they have a great partner program when it comes to like incentivizing streamers. And I feel like with Mixer, it's a new platform. What's happening with YouTube? You get too big, you start to upset your consumer base. But the thing is, people are afraid to leave YouTube because there's not a big enough competitor to leave. So they'll go back and forth between Twitch. Twitch kind of have like a fucked up situation where they don't allow you to stream or you can't stream to YouTube depending on what type of contract that you got and shit. So at the end of the day, Twitch is gonna fuck you over. YouTube's gonna fuck you over. It makes Mixer and attractive to big streamers. That's who you need first. You need the big streamers. Once you got the big streamers, you get the audience, and then and you'll start seeing Mixer pop up all over the place to use. And then you every time somebody buys an Xbox and they want to broadcast their game, Mixer is the de facto default. So by default, you're streaming to Mixer. You want your friends to watch it, telling them. So
right there,
Mixer's an easier sell than, let's say, a Groove Music or
I understand.
It's just like music easier sell because it's there. They have a platform that can take advantage of it. No, the platform isn't 70 million large or anything like that, but it's a good enough size. And then you have people that will jump aboard if the monetization is right. So
here's the problem. Here's a constant problem I see with Microsoft, and it's the fact that they keep jumping onto things too late. You know what I'm saying? Like you're hopping on the whole the music thing too late when you already have iTunes out there and Google Play.
Well, Microsoft always had a music service.
Yeah, they did.
They always had.
I never knew about it.
What was that other music device they had? What was
but
it called?
I agree. Like the whole thing with the whole jumping in too late. That's why I see the VR thing. I don't think they're
VR as well.
I think
Do you think what? I'm sorry.
I think they're doing. I think they're doing the same thing. Like it's just they're watching it again, and and what happens if it does take off? They're gonna be like, "Oh, here's our stuff," and it's like too late, guys.
VR is fucking awesome too, man. Like,
it's good, man.
Needs to hurry up. They need to hurry up and hop on that.
All right, so Windows VR do exist, by the way. But I do have I did get PlayStation VR for Christmas. I must admit, I like it. Well, I like a particular game. Of the games that I played, I really enjoyed one is the Until Dawn Rush of Blood. It really
that game is good.
It's like one game that fully takes advantage of it. I can't take advantage of every game because a lot of games use those stupid ass glow in the dark
move controllers.
I still got mine for the PS3, so I've been using.
And I don't want to buy those. And I feel bad for my girl because she bought this thing for me right before the sale, and I didn't realize that it's been under the tree this whole time. I didn't realize. I was like, crap. If I would have known or had any idea, I would be like, hey, it's on sale with this, that, and the third. But
Smooth. Smooth. Get the controllers and play Batman. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, play Batman or play VR Worlds.
Or
life will change.
Batman's hot though.
I want to play a game where I can just use my controller, and I want to. The thing is, my how I want to experience VR is how Until Dawn Rush of Blood does it, or just put the game to me in first person. I don't want to have to place people here and there. Let me control the game and just let it control properly in VR. You know,
gotcha.
I want it to be a free move. I don't want controlled moves. The only games I want controlled moves is like the Until Dawn Rush of Blood or Let Me Freeform. Like I played the Tomb Raider VR mode. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta place her, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I seen a trailer for Doom, and I'm like, I'm assuming Doom is freeform, but I seen that placement shit again,
man.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
It can got me nauseous.
No. But the thing of a game like for instance, in VR Worlds, there's a game called London Heist. Most of the things there you use move controls, but you're in a seat. You don't have to move anything. It's like I don't know, explain. They put two guns in your hand. Too. Yeah, it's awesome. That's like you use one hand to pick up a clip, the other hand to load it in underneath it, and you just shoot. Like it's good. It creates a different experience other than it creates a more of an immersive experience. That's what.
What do you think about Thumper? Did you play Thumper?
I can't play it. I can't play Thumper, and I can't play Gran Turismo because I just get sick. I almost threw up. The Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I played Thumper. Shout out, thanks Frog for sending that over.
That's no problem.
My girl did like the whole first level. She didn't even let me play, and I got on to like level 2. But
I heard it's addictive.
It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It's Thumper. I like that.
The funniest game I played on VR is a game called Accounting Plus.
Oh my gosh,
that's hilarious. So I didn't know anything about it. I just bought it. Just for the hell, I just bought it, and like it had me cracking. I never laughed so hard in a game since Conquer. Like that game had me dying laughing.
Is it that fun? Oh man, I might have to show it.
It's hilarious, man. From the first thing you enter, it's like kind of like your own safe space. And it's just hilarious from the moment you put the game in. It's just funny, man.
I gotta try that.
You gotta try it out too.
I'm gonna tell you, Smooth Man, the fall point with the that move aim controller, that's something you gotta try out. Like that is something that you move with the analogs, aim around, and the gun is 3D
I heard
model.
about that.
And that game was pretty revolutionary. Like, and that whole but see, then they didn't really do it very effectively in Doom. Like Doom, they still had the left hand is in your face because they didn't animate it, which it really it disconnects you out of the game because you're holding a two-handed gun and they got this hand floating there. It was annoying, but but Fall Point is polished as it can be. They just added a PvP mode over the holiday, so it's a 1 versus 1 arena. But Rec Room is awesome too, and that is free. That is
amazing.
I love that. That game, they have laser tag in that. They got disc golf. And it's all free. And they got charades where you go on stage and you have to draw you got to draw things and people have to guess like a Pictionary, a 3D version of Pictionary. Is so cool. Yeah. And people like chill on it too.
Yeah, like I limit myself on VR though. I play like when I play Rush of Blood, I'll play 1 or 2 levels a day.
Yeah.
I won't play for more than I won't play an hour. I won't do that. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool experience, but and like I said, the only thing that got me wanting PSVR because I'm waiting for. I really would like a VR that's not tethered, but the way they designed PSVR, it doesn't feel like anything's in the way, unless just my room is too small for me to notice. But it didn't feel like anything was in the way. But I would like to have a VR that's completely free and I can,
maybe version 2.
Look, for you guys that have VR, now imagine this: if Microsoft would have kept the Kinect, right? the Kinect can like see if your hand is open and closed and shit like that. Like imagine if they had a VR system that allowed that kind of stuff where you can, you know what I'm saying, if you close your hand, if you squeeze your hand, like your character closes his hand in the VR space, like that's the kind of stuff that I wish held on to it just for stuff like that. But
I really think what Microsoft wants to do is have it to the point where you're not tethered at all and have it all built into the headset, and it's a matter of like connection.
Yeah.
Turns
just
on
like you are the controller. They want to do something.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things, man. It's like
it worked for a little bit, but
it did. It was the most the highest selling,
peripheral. Like I don't know, so like it was 10 million out the gate,
Yeah.
And then everybody wanted to know why they put it in a box for the Xbox One. Well, but let's talk about the supposed possibility of a new Xbox, next generation Xbox console coming in 2019. This came from Dreamcast guy from one of his sources at Microsoft. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I just don't see it happening at all, to be honest with you. I think that's too soon. I think they just put out a quote unquote mid-gen refresh console at $500, and for them to make an announcement 15, 16 months down the road that a new console's coming in 2019, I just don't see that happening.
They did that with the Xbox One S in the same date.
We're in the same family though.
True.
No, because Microsoft's backtracked it. Yeah, Microsoft's backtracked on it.
I see two ways this is happening. I don't think the whole 2019 thing is too soon, only because I think we're already conditioned to upgrading sooner. Remember, we upgrade our phones every year, our tablets probably the same much. Our TVs, some people don't let their TVs sit for 2 years. So I think there is an easier way Microsoft can actually do this if they come out with a new console, right? And I'll be on board. I'll freaking buy into it because I already know Microsoft's plan. I know when I boot up this new generation Xbox, all my shit's gonna be there. So I'm not worried about
except
that.
Kinect.
I don't have a Kinect anymore. I got rid of my Kinect. I think prior to the Xbox One S coming out.
I was gonna.
There's two ways they could do this.
Yeah,
they could either two ways. Take the Xbox One X and just put a new CPU. Take the same Xbox One X specs and just put a CPU, a Ryzen-based CPU in there. Boom. Because it's already would meet any requirement for a GPU.
Yep.
Right.
You get 60 FPS in a lot of games too.
Right? Ryzen or something where they know because a CPU upgrade is the next leap forward. I think that's the next leap forward is just assuring 60 frames per second and better AI. So the CPU, all they have to do is put a new generation CPU in there, boom, console done, and they already have the development for it. Or B, uncut that tether cord where all games that work on the Xbox One X has to work on Xbox One. Then because the Xbox One X, the system itself. If you were to develop for the Xbox One X as a console itself, you would see some significance there. But
for that same reason you mentioned, I just don't see. I see the Xbox One S or the Xbox One family. When they launch the next Xbox, I see that generation stays there and a new generation starts at that point. Specifically because of the CPU. It's the very reason why Xbox One X is not running 60 FPS in some games, especially like open world games, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like if they did that, let's say when they do that, the games could be backwards compatible, but it would be to a point where let's say a game that's 30 frames per second that can damn well be 60 frames per second on, let's say, more powerful hardware. They by default it would just have to be hands on deck. Like there can't be a frame rate parity between if you wanted to go backwards compatible. I feel like there's decisions that would have to be made to allow the next generation to move forward and also to keep your brand of consoles and games alive. And that's the way they would have to do it. But I'm not buying this whole 2019 thing. It's too soon because I don't think it's too soon. The Xbox One came out in 2013. Think about it. The original Xbox came out in what? November of 2001. And in November of 2005, we got the Xbox 360.
Well, there's a reason
they
for that.
wanted to leapfrog Sony, though.
No.
Leapfrog Sony.
No. The reason why that happened. The reason why that happened is because of Nvidia. That was the reason why that happened, because they got to a point, at certain points they're able to make more money off or make a profit off the GPU and stuff like that of the pieces. The reason why they got rid of the original Xbox and moved on is because Nvidia screwed them on the deal, and so they couldn't make any profit at all. And so that's the reason why they moved on, not for any of the stuff you guys are hearing on the internet. It's because of the GPU.
No, so that's why nobody Dean consoles.
I'm sorry, what?
Is that why both neither Sony or Microsoft using Nvidia for their consoles?
I don't know if that's the reason why they aren't using them anymore. I think it's because of price and it's expensive. But the reason why they moved on from their original Xbox is because they couldn't make a profit in that the deal that they signed with Nvidia.
Yeah, because Nvidia was in the original Xbox.
Yeah.
That's why they don't work with them anymore.
Yeah, it's in Dean Takahashi's that book that says I forgot his book, but it's like the creation of Xbox. It came out like a couple of years after the 360 was launched, and that is exactly what he says about how they had to jump ship because they had to go with AMD because they had Nvidia in the beginning.
Okay, this is my only thing.
I do like. Again, you go.
No, I was gonna say this is my only thing that I thought about when I saw that, because I listen to Dreamcast guy a lot. My first thing was it was too soon, but then my second thing was, okay, let's just say this happens next year. What games do you launch with a new system that's coming out as a refresher, as a brand new? So what games do you launch, as software wise, outside of third party, first party games? What do you launch a Halo?
They would actually be in a better position to have the greatest launch, or at least the greatest names to launch games. Because in 2019, think about it. Let's say
Halo.
We're still all right. So we don't know about Halo 6. Gears of War would be due. Both Halo and Gears of War would be due. Let's say if Gears or Halo don't launch in 2018, which they won't, and you have a console launching in 2019, you can drop a Halo, a Gears of Forza, and some other second party games, filler games, so they can launch their biggest games the year the game come out. They would be in position to launch a Halo next to for the first time since 2001, like along with the new box, and in a same position to launch a Gears of War as well to do that, and a Forza.
So Halo, Gears, and Forza. Then the number 2 question I said is, what is the price point?
What's the $500?
Nah, they got to come in at $400.
I'm not. Here's the thing. People are confused. All right, I understand. Here's the thing. If it's like this, if Xbox, the next generation of Xbox, let's say this does happen and it comes out in 2019 to leapfrog Sony again, right? And Sony's not ready till 2020. They can come out at $500 because they will be by themselves, and then they'll be prepared to do a price drop the year PlayStation 5 comes out. This whole coming in, you have to be at $400. That's important if you guys are going head to head again. But if one beats the other, they're in the driver's seat to price however they want because they have room to do that until the new console launches.
I just think they come in at 400. They're going to acquire so much market share. And just like you said, if they launch with like a Halo 6 or the next Gears, and they launch a new console to kind of soften the blow, I mean, I'll pick it up day one. I mean, regardless. But you come out with like a Halo 6 and you price it at $399. Man,
they need a splash.
That's strong. That's real strong.
I don't think we're gonna see a $399 brand new console again unless it's from Nintendo.
And then the next will drop to 400, and then they'll just do their new 100, the one at 5. That's gonna be their thing.
They phase out the S at that point.
But yeah,
and then the other thing I thought about too is this a true 4K console this time?
Yeah,
it would have to be.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a minor up. We're going to get an iterative.
Yeah, I don't think graphically it's going to be that much of an improvement. That's why I said the CPU is the next.
I think it's going to have the same design. Like it might have a little flare somewhere, but it's going to look the same. Like I don't think they invested that much time in trying to get the power supply in there and making sure that they get the cooling, the Hovis method. That's longevity, man. They're going to put that in everything moving forward.
Yeah, I think with and I agree with you. I think the CPU is going to be the generational leap for the next consoles.
Yeah.
So you're going to see the physics of games improving dramatically. You're going to see the lighting of games improve dramatically. I think those things that are very CPU bound, I think that's where the big leap is going to be. So the overall, and of course FPS, FPS,
exactly.
which you would hope that that's what they use that for.
This is another opinion. I think they put themselves in a position to react to whatever Sony does.
Yep.
And
that's all it is. That's all business is. It's like, I mean, it's one thing to move to your own beat, but at the end of the day, you got to react to what's going on. That's how everybody's going to eat. You know what I mean? It's like it's the only reason why we get free games every month and why we're paying for online games and shit like that. Like playing for online subscriptions and stuff. You gotta keep moving. And when someone does something, and then somebody does something with a little bit of an incentive on top of it. So
So I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to wait for Sony to see what they do and what price they come at, and then like 6 months later, you'll have, or
Sony's coming at
6 months later.
400.
Yeah, 4 to 6 months later,
why do you believe that?
come up.
So Sony's going to use that same formula they did last generation.
Why do you think Sony is coming in at 400 just because the PS4 came at 400? It's like you got to understand. It's not.
Sony knows that's the price.
The cost they have to improve. Here's the thing. Right, the crazy thing is, believe it or not, the PlayStation 5 won't be that much more powerful than the Xbox One X. It will be. I'm expecting it to be powerful, but it is not going to be that large in gap. Microsoft set the standard that any next console coming out, the GPU have to be 12 gigs or bigger. Like it has to be 12 gigs or bigger. The next best leap.
A year or two from now, it's going to be cheaper for them to do.
But the thing is, I don't think a new generation console is going to be affordable to do at a $400 price. I don't think it's
going to
possible.
make it that way. They have not released any of them over $400 this generation, even the Pro. Microsoft's not afraid of $500. Sony is terrified of $500. They realized that was the big. That's the reason why they dominated this generation, was they were undercutted Microsoft. That was the biggest
50% agree with that. That's exactly the reason why they dominated.
Undercutted Microsoft in price. Look at MPDs just for the recently in November. They undercutted. They undercut price again. They don't care. They are cutting the price to be successful, to say that they sold the most. They are going to do that again, and they're not going to stop. So Microsoft keeps doing reiterative consoles is not giving them the low price point that they need to get everybody back on board. And
here's the thing: PlayStation. Why did PlayStation 3 cost $600? Right? They weren't afraid to charge $600 for their console.
They learned.
They were super cocky.
That was all custom.
They were rocking around with the Superman cape.
All consoles are custom. The thing is that if they filled that $500, I feel like $500 is the minimum. I don't think we're going to see this whole $400, especially for the leaps for them that they're supposed to hit. That they're supposed to hit for the next generation. And I don't see no less than $500.
It all depends on what Sony does. I guarantee you. It depends on what Sony does.
No, it's not. We're not going to have a chance to see what Sony does because Xbox. I think Microsoft is hit first.
So let's just say Microsoft does come out next year. Let's just say Xbox comes out next year, right? Yeah. And they come out and they said they announced their new console and it comes out the end of next year. Mm-hmm. Are we going to be having this power narrative when Sony comes out the next year after with the console? Are we going to be talking about power again? Or are we going to be talking about how Sony game? You see what I'm saying? Because I think that's the thing. It's like this generation was the whole power narrative. Are we going to have that same talk?
I learned from what I'm seeing. If Microsoft comes out first, right, they're going to force Sony to break the bank. Meaning that if Sony wants to put out a platform a year after them, and that we all going to assume is going to be more powerful, we would be hoping it's more powerful because they have that extra year time. But that means it's going to cost more. They're not going to be like, all right, here's a more powerful system, and it's going to be and it's going to be like $100 cheaper. Sure, that happened with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox, but they came out at the same time. They came out saying using close enough specs. The difference is the Xbox had like the Kinect added on there, and the PlayStation 4 didn't have a camera bundled up in there. But if the PlayStation 5 is coming out a year after the next Xbox, my assumption is it's going to be more powerful than that next Xbox, and they're going to be pushed to try to, all right, they got to see what's in the Xbox. I was like, do we sit there and wait a year later until those parts are cheaper and then so launch an equivalent console a year later at $400 and they can do a price drop the same year we come out? Or do I put it up a notch? It's going to cost me a little bit more. I'm going to a little bit more money. I'm going to recoup that cost at a price on PlayStation. I can sell a $500 console if I want to. I think gamers, the market is tolerant to $500 regardless of what people say. That Microsoft has not been afraid to pump out two $500 consoles in a 4-year time period.
I agree with you.
Xbox is sustainable because I don't think it is. Not in January, February, and March.
I don't have to be.
I agree that you can do a $500 console. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. I do think $399 is going to be Sony's next console price mark, but I always look and say,
why do you think that?
Well, here's why.
Would you have guessed that after the PS3? It's like people think, oh, because this worked. You're not taking in consideration.
No, what I'm looking at is
how much shit costing. Like,
they priced the Pro for
right. This is what I'm looking at.
Well, the Pro was nothing. It was an overclocked PlayStation 4. Like it's
wait
not.
A second.
The Pro was more.
Sony was dominating again. They didn't even need the Pro, and they could have priced that thing at whatever they wanted to.
But it would have been highway robbery because the Pro isn't that much substantially different from the base PlayStation 4. They didn't do nowhere near of what Microsoft did for the Xbox One X. I'm talking about changing like the specs inside there. They overclocked it, and they
tested the market for a higher price point, and they didn't. They left it at $400. They could have tested the market. They would only put the Pro.
You know what? Ask yourself this: is at the start of the gen, if Microsoft comes out at $399 with no Kinect in the box, and in North America, I mean, Xbox was the dominant platform.
Right.
Do you think that the generation turns out the way that it does, that it is right now? I think we'd be talking a different story, or at least Microsoft will have a way larger install base, at least in North America, for sure.
I think in North America, yes. Worldwide, no. I think it wouldn't be as big of a gap, but it'd still be pretty significant. Microsoft will probably be closer to 50 million, but we wouldn't. We wouldn't see it. Sony would still be dominating, I think, hands down.
If it's not the US and not the UK, it's
because the way I look at it, even if an Xbox console comes out next year, how much of the market are they going to take from Sony when the PlayStation 4 is still selling? How much of the market are they going to take until that PS5 comes out? How many people are going to leave their PS4 to jump to the next Xbox console? Because that's what I look at. I mean, it's established. People have established. I don't think that, and like I said, I think that them coming out next year, okay, $500 maybe. I still think $399 will be their price point. I think if Microsoft has learned anything, I would say $399 has to be a price point. And I just think that would benefit them.
Learned that
with the X, I know.
But then you're releasing a console a year away from the most powerful console ever in history. It's kind of like their message is a little confusing, I guess I would say, because I don't see. That's why I don't think their console's coming out next year. I'm like, why would you release a console next year when you just came out one?
Can you guys hear me?
So a year
apart. I don't think that's. I mean, they could have started the next generation with the X if they wanted to, but they didn't. So why jump and say next year we're going to release a console? I think it'd be suicide in a sense. Like you release the X, and now you're going to say, oh, we're going to release another console next year, and it'd be truer 4K. It's like, look, you're confusing people with your message.
Yeah, I think they're all true. But the thing that they're going to have an issue with, and I think Microsoft doesn't really, they just want the development cycle to continue and that the game will just look better or run better on the next console. And I think their iteration of like a cell phone model doesn't work with the consoles.
No, it doesn't.
When PlayStation comes out, they go, here's PlayStation 5. They're going to draw a line right in the sand and go, this is different than this one, but all your games will work. And that's a big key. If Sony drops their backwards compatibility support for the 4, that's the way where Microsoft could come back. But if Sony
exactly 100% agree.
If Sony continues with their PlayStation 4 fanbase, which they should. And I thought Microsoft should have did that with the 360. They would have probably had a lot more weight if they did. Instead, they just cut it off and said, here's the Xbox One. But Sony carries the PlayStation 4. It's going to be really hard for Microsoft to kind of differentiate their iterative consoles.
I mean, it's pretty clear. In order for them to carry the audience that they have, they're going to have to announce backwards compatibility.
There would never be another console that doesn't play
for sure.
games.
Especially with Microsoft, how invested they are in back compatibility.
I thought Microsoft had it in the bag when I had my 360. I was like, all they got to do is say, "Hey guys, everything you bought on 360 works on the new Xbox," and I thought that was definitely their key. Since they started this whole digital marketplace, they did DLC first and all this other stuff, and they just cut it off and said nope. And I was like, wow, they gave Sony the window they needed to come back in and start a clean slate. Now, if Sony gives Microsoft that'll happen, but I don't think Sony's gonna do that. I think because they've been playing smart. I don't think they're just gonna be dumb with the 5.
Sony ain't dumb. If we've learned anything this gen is they're not dumb.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Sony's not playing catch up. They're in no rush to release another console. Their console is still selling well. So,
and even if Microsoft doesn't care that much about the console sales so much. I think they'll just that's why I think they might put something in 2019 because it's not about the console sales to them anymore and market penetration. It's more about
then why even make a console if it's not about the console sales?
I don't know. Man,
install base matters for sure.
I think install base matters, right?
Yeah, it definitely matters. There's no question about that.
They should have priced it competitively. The X at $500 is not competitive to the market.
If it's me, I come out. If you're gonna come out with a console, it better be at $399.
It should be at $399, but it has to be. We're talking about a console they have out now. It's 6 teraflops. It's blah 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 blah. It's like how much more powerful can their console get? Do they still say you can play your games everywhere? If they're still pushing that narrative, I think that kind of, in a sense.
Now, what if PlayStation and Xbox come out at the same time, both at $499? What happens to this? Oh, they better be at $399 argument. Is it both career suicide for them both? I don't understand.
Here's a better.
I hope they launch a Halo 6.
Here's a better question. What if they both come out in the next generation, and Sony doesn't do backwards compatible at all, and they got 8 games compared to 3 generation of games?
Right.
Oh yeah, then they're done. They're gonna lose. They're not gonna be done, but they will lose.
They're gonna hurt themselves that generation.
And Xbox, you can guarantee they're gonna hold their whole audience.
Oh yeah.
Of course. I own 140 Xbox One games right now digitally.
It's like I said, man. Like if they would have made that backwards compatible, thing, people act like that's not a big deal. It's not a big deal now, and it wasn't even really a big deal when it came out. But if that came out on launch, it would have been a big deal.
Oh, that'd been a huge deal.
150%.
Yeah, huge deal.
And that's when the 360 had weight back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they would have really. I think the numbers would be different because Sony doesn't have backward compatibility. PlayStation now is just not the best service for it. So I think I agree with you. At launch, if the Xbox One had backward compatibility, we'd be talking a little differently. The numbers may not be side by side, but Microsoft wouldn't be. I don't know what they're at, 30-something million now. I don't know what they're at, 30-something million.
Probably like 35, 40 million.
I would say they're between 30. I'll put them between 35 and 40. I don't think that's moved much.
I think they're 37, 45, anywhere in that.
I think, and the thing is that has a huge discrepancy. In the U.S., it's kind of close with a few million. Like it's the Europe and Japan. Japan I forget about, but like the European market was one of the big things they had with the 360, and they just kind of just abandoned it.
They lost it.
They lost the whole thing, and they had it with the 360. They got it with the racing games.
They had the killer app in the 360 though. Especially like with Gears and all that stuff. Like that's something that just hasn't happened this gen.
That's what I was trying to say. Blackbond came at me. It was one of the first Planet Xbox. Is I said the only way that the Xbox could even remotely catch up to the PlayStation is that it had like that Halo 3 game that's only on the Xbox that everyone is playing, and people are buying it in swarms. Like people seem to forget how big Halo 3 was.
Yeah, it was massive.
Huge.
I remember standing in line at midnight at GameStop.
And as much as people, might hate on Call of Duty is one of the reasons of 360 where it was too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, marketing deals. Microsoft had the marketing deals.
Without Call of Duty and Halo and Gears, I don't think the Microsoft brand would be where it is in gaming.
100% agree.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate to say it, I think I'd give more leaning towards Call of Duty than the other two, because the other two really helped give it hype, but that Call of Duty made it mainstream.
Getting those
Brand
maps.
association.
You got
Yeah,
the
well,
maps
that's
first.
right.
You got the maps first. If that's the game you play, if you let's just say you play Call of Duty, Madden, and whatever and whatnot, any of the other casual games, right? And you play Call of Duty every single night with your buddies. Aren't you going to play on the platform that gets the DLC first? I mean, I would. I did.
Mhm.
Look at the sales of Call of Duty. Like it sold the most on the PlayStation one, even though it was running like on the X and stuff like that. It's still like the content getting there early. I know Phil says a bunch of times that he's not into that whole thing, but the PUBG was a start, and I think if that came out a little bit more polished, I think it would have had a big. It's still
after that last update, it's improved a lot.
To be honest
with that stuff, you gotta keep going with those deals.
To be honest, like a new Xbox in 2019, shout out to Dream, and we had him on the Iron Lords podcast. Like, if he says he's got people, and here's the thing: like, you could take what he's saying, and it could still be accurate. It's just the wrong year. Like, you could aim for a year all you want. Doesn't mean it's coming out that year.
Right.
So everything he said could be 100% accurate. It's just it doesn't come out in 2019. It comes out. I think 2021 is the years that the next consoles are going to come out.
Oh, I think it's too long.
I think 2020, 2021.
Yeah, I think that is not too long.
That's what y'all want.
That's the fact that the mid-gen consoles, the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, I think they pretty much demanded that it be that long. It'd be stupid for any of them, even on the even regardless how the Pro is a year late. That's still 3 years from the Pro drop, and that's still too soon. Like you can't say mid-gen console and come out not even mid-gen. Like you go like midway through both of them. Like it's got to be at least 4 on each side. Like I don't see Sony investing that much money into the Pro, and at Microsoft invest that much money into the X, and then just drop a new console in 2 to 3 years. I just don't see that.
Think about it. It's the reason these mid-gen consoles even exist, is to extend the current generation.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the reason these consoles even exist right now, even though I personally disagree with it. I'd rather there have been no mid-gen refresh, and then we just cut off, let's say, in 2019, and we just buy brand new consoles and we're off to the next gen. But that's not what happened in this case. But I can totally see it being
next gen is
for sure.
Different. Next gen is not like it's not going to be the same. Like the rate of the limiting, like what is it? The limiting returns. I think they're just going to be iterative consoles. I think they're just going to be stronger, more powerful, and the architecture is not going to change that drastically because they're basically computers now.
No, they're not.
And they're not custom chips. They're custom chips, but they're not like the cell processor or Power PC or anything that's going to really shake up the development cycles. Like it's really just a PC, a more powerful PC. So I can see them coming out with more frequent. I just don't think next gen is going to be that exciting.
What's the next AMD APUs? It's Bristol Ridge. That's probably what's going to be in the next gen of next consoles for sure.
I think the difference. Yeah. I think the biggest key, I don't think Xbox or Microsoft or Sony is going to come out messing up next gen. I think they're going to really dot their I's. But I do see Sony being arrogant and say they don't need backwards compatibility. I do see that.
That could happen.
And if that happens,
that would hurt them really bad.
I see PlayStation 5 being $500 before them not doing backwards compatibility.
I think backwards compatibility is going to be a thing.
Look, at the end of the day, like, what has Sony done to make me think they're going to do it? Like, and I understand it's PR. They're trying to hold their guns until next gen, but there's always miscommunication with companies. With different people, and everyone on Sony's been on the same page. We don't do backwards compatibility. Even from the beginning, they did it with the PS3 for the first model, and then they started recalling that model because they didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So do you think they'll just in the next gen remasters?
I think next gen they're going to do the same thing they did this gen. I think they're going to launch it with I think they're going to launch it with a remake of a remaster of. What is it? Last of Us 2. I think they're going to launch it with Death Stranding. I think that's going to be their launch titles.
I think
I think they're going to be cocky. They're going to think that no one wants to play old games, and that's true. Let's be real here. 2019
at it for PS5. 2019. That's what you're predicting.
20.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think that if PlayStation 5 is coming 2020, Xbox is coming 2019.
Nah,
I mean,
I don't see that.
nah.
I
Yeah,
see
but
that.
PlayStation didn't. PlayStation did put backwards compatibility in the PlayStation 3 because they had that huge PlayStation.
Here's the
2
thing:
people
if
come
they
over.
do that,
They might do it again.
if they do that, they need something bomb to launch
Killer
that
act.
shit with.
That's why
Like,
you guys.
and I'm
they
not
haven't-
even.
Stranding, man. That's
I'm not
Stranding, but
even
they're not
little
gonna
stuff.
not put it on the 4 though. They're not going to put that Stranding on the 4. They put
Yeah,
it
it's
on.
going to be on the 4.
For some reason, I feel like that's gonna get pushed over to PS5 entirely. Like,
Walk
we're what?
Kojima.
We're 3 gameplays into. I mean, we're 3 trailers into it. Haven't seen one bit of gameplay, and then they're like, "Oh, that's gameplay." That did not look like gameplay. Okay, that looked like a vertical sliced in like a little bit of the game. Like, come on, you guys. Like, who here really thought that that might be how the game will look, but that wasn't gameplay.
Yeah.
That looked like more of an interactive cutscene, something that you would see Naughty Dog do than gameplay.
Right. But I
That was
think the
definitely
other
not
issue
gameplay.
is that game, again, I always say this, the exclusive, that game can only be played on a PlayStation platform. And then Microsoft now has diluted their platform. That's going to be even harder for them to sell next gen
There's no
when they can put it
denying.
on PC. It's
There's no-
a challenge that they have.
There's no denying that they diluted their first party a little bit, but I really do think you'd be reaching. Like I really do think most of the people that be buying this on PC, they weren't going to buy this shit on console. They were just not going to buy the game at all.
It's available somewhere else. It hampers the demand for the product.
Wasn't Persona 4 on PS3 as well?
PS3 and PS4.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean,
was.
I didn't hear no one say, "Well, it's on PS3, so I'm gonna go play it on PS3." Like people will play where they go. Like I do. No. Just
But
makes
why
sense.
is the Switch? But
No,
why is the Switch sell, man?
I guess-
Because you only play those things on the Switch. That's why the Switch is selling.
The
Because you only
Switch, the Switch sells because they have killer apps that get people to that install base, and they have droughts that no one has shit to play. So then they start picking up shovelware. That's the reason the Switch sells like that.
Let me tell you, Nintendo's been doing a good job though since they launched a Switch.
Yeah.
That's why
Well,
it's
what
been
I think
selling
he's
like fire.
saying is like the PS3, PS4, I hear you with Persona, is you can only play it on the PlayStation platform.
What the hell
where-
does that have to do with anything with the matter at hand, though? It's like, because
what he's saying is it's PlayStation
next
64.
gen
but it doesn't
console.
matter. You still, it's you can still play it on another PlayStation console. That doesn't make it that much more.
Let's ask
exclusive
this
to
question.
PS4,
I get that. I get that. But
If the
here's
next
the-
Halo comes out, let's ask this question. Let's just say they release their next console next year, right?
Yep.
And then it still play anywhere. Will the next Halo game be on their next console exclusive, or will it also be playable on a PC? That's the question.
If they smart, they put it only on the new gen console.
If they were smart, it will only be on console.
If you want my
That's
honest opinion, I don't think Halo's going to PC.
I agree.
I know
totally
people
agree.
keep saying that, but
I
it's
totally agree.
They've been
Why not?
very upfront what games are going to PC. When Forza, they said every Forza from now on is going on PC. You can quote, and there's so many different people trying to get that information out of Phil Spencer. He always does the reach around with that question. He never comes out bluntly and answers it. And people are like, "Oh, well, they don't want to say anything." Why? They said Gears was coming. They said, "Hey, Forza was coming." Why would it be such a big deal if they're going to say Halo's coming if it is coming?
Because it'll be a
Because it's
shitstorm.
not.
It'll be a
To walk
shitstorm.
out the
that's why.
door.
No.
Exactly.
It'll be a shitstorm.
No,
they announced
people
it
aren't
too
just
early.
gonna. People aren't just gonna pick up the Xbox Ones and Xbox One's X. Like, I'm gonna go sell this shit. I'm
All
building
the
a
IPs
PC.
that Microsoft has, the only one that they're going to lose out so much money if they do not put Halo on PC. People have been asking for that for so many years.
No,
So
I don't
they're
think
not
it is.
gonna put
I
the
don't.
money-
Like,
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think
that's
Halo. I don't think Halo.
The whole
will.
point
I'm
of them
sorry.
doing
I feel like
is to sell more copies. They're going to miss out on.
Why hasn't Phil Spencer said it?
Quick question.
They literally
Why do
said
you-
it.
Hold on.
If there's a game that
would not-
doesn't go to PC,
would not do it
if
now.
there's one that doesn't go to PC, it's Halo. If there's one, that'll
not?
be the one.
Why won't it go to PC?
I'm not
why
saying like. First off, we won't know what is not. Like, until we
The
have
whole-
definite answers,
first
there's
the
no way to
whole-
really tell.
Exactly, but
But
why
all
wouldn't they?
I'm putting is facts. They have asked him multiple questions. Is what going to PC? Is what going to PC? What is the games that he said is not? He hasn't made a comment on. Sunset Overdrive. Did that go to PC? No. Halo. I'm telling you, every time they talk to this man about Halo, he does a complete turnaround and says, "Well, we're not discussing that right now." When it comes to Forza, they said the whole franchise is coming to PC. The whole franchise.
But
Like,
they didn't say that 2 years in advance. They didn't say it a year in advance. They said it once the game was
didn't
announced.
Kid, didn't they say Gears of War was coming out like a year and a half before it came out to PC?
It'll be a play anywhere title.
After it's announced though.
Well, I get that,
after
but
it was announced.
I get that, but they said the whole franchise of Forza is coming to PC. Unannounced games and announced games. So why don't you think that it's kind of weird that he won't? I mean, they've been very upfront about what's going to PC and what's not going to PC. Why is this the one question they won't answer?
Everything
and you know what,
is
gaming
going to
addict,
PC.
Yeah, just to latch onto that, especially with us knowing that keyboard and mouse support's coming to Xbox, sure gives PC gamers a lot of reason to come over to Xbox and play Halo 6 if it's exclusive to console only.
I'm saying that, you know, it's definitely not, you know, 100% not coming. But all I'm saying is that
they haven't announced Halo 6 yet. Let's wait till they announce it. That's why they're not talking about
exactly.
it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you.
but
we all know Halo 6 is
they
didn't announce it yet.
Waiting for it.
Real here that we know it's coming though.
But to your point, Cycle, I actually agree with you. I actually do think it's coming to PC. To be honest with you,
that's what I'm saying. I think it is.
And Master Chief Collection is going to PC this spring.
No,
that's why
the thing is, I don't get about like the mental being of like people. Like for example, this is what I don't get. If like me, I play on, I play on console. I got a PC, but I play on console. The Xbox is my preferred, is my gaming machine. It's just my console. So even if the Xbox had 0 exclusive, that's the console I'm just playing my games on. And I didn't understand because I know Jez, I watched Jez evolve from an Xbox fan gamer to like a straight PlayStation dude. Because
I don't know PlayStation dude, but I'm just pissed at Xbox.
But the thing is, because my question is, does Microsoft having lack of first party exclusive encourage you to play third-party games on PlayStation?
No, it's not going to affect me. But kid, I ask you this question: go to your friends and go to other people and say, "Come on, you got to buy an Xbox. You got to get online with me." And then that person try to sell it to somebody so you could.
I'm never in a position where I need to sell it to somebody because I have like I don't know. I've like
word of mouth is the biggest sell. Word of mouth. How can you sell? How can you help promote the brand? How can you get the brand? Get market penetration with word of mouth when you tell somebody you could play Halo 6. Oh, well, I could play it on PC. I could play it over here. I could play talking to you for free.
PC's
I
really
could do all that stuff.
Can I say something real quick? Like, out of all the casual, like I'm the gamer out of all my casual friends that game, right? They come to me for, you know, whatever they want to know about gaming or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. None of them give a shit about what's coming to PC. None of them. Because they don't game on PC. Like half of them don't even know Call of Duty is on PC. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't. They don't.
Two different audiences.
They don't play it.
Very, very different audiences.
They're casuals. You know what I'm saying? So they ask me, hey, what game should I get? You know what I'm saying? What game are you playing right now? What game can I play with you on right now? It's not about like they don't give a shit. They never ask about PC ever.
Yeah, it's like that's the thing. It's like my friends. Yeah, when I step away from the gaming community,
the
online, internet, not going home and stuff. Nobody's asking me what should they put in a rig. They're like, "Hey, what's the newest game for Xbox that I can get?" And I'm like, "All right, this is the game I'm playing." Like, this is no like, oh man, I'm so bummed that this game is on PC. Like, it just doesn't. That's
so
why
when you see PC,
what does it
when
matter?
you see PC players in your Xbox games, that's you're cool with that.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you that you.
Dude, I was shotgunning people on Gears just as easy as I was doing the console people. Like first-person shooters is a different story, and you know I do think that they will
keyboard and mouse support is going to be kind of murky too. Like who's using a keyboard and mouse?
Well, it's not even that.
Like,
they do have a.
Who wants that stuff though? Like
they do have a system in place that does balance out the PC people. Because if you remember when Alex was playing with Kofi and all of them, he was doing horrible because he was using keyboard and mouse, and they have like a weird system going on.
He was doing actually beast with keyboard and mouse.
Not on Halo.
I was watching.
I thought you meant Gears.
No, on Halo he was doing horrible.
No, on Gears he was beasting with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, because on Gears it's a twitch shooter. You can move that mouse way quicker on that than you can a keyboard on a console.
The thing I don't get about the gaming community, right?
Just saying the exclusives don't matter.
I like how people will first say, "Oh, Xbox don't got an exclusive because games going to PC," right? But the minute these games come to quote unquote PC or the Windows Store, Oh, I'm not buying games from here. It's trash. They can't do anything right. They'll talk about how trash the game is. They won't even use it because you can't get these games on Steam. Like you can't get these games on Steam, and then it's like nobody's buying it on PC. I'm curious to see those Windows 10 numbers of how many.
That's the thing Microsoft's doing. What they got to do is put those games on Steam. That's what they have to do. For sure, because look, I got a game on PC too.
Cuphead was so successful. Cuphead was so successful.
Well, that's because the strain community attached to that. When the strain community attaches to anything, it sells well on PC. It doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
my point is saying what I was saying was like for me, I never even like before I got on this gaming community or whatever it was like. Yeah. I never cared about what was coming to PC. I would go to the store and see a PC game.
I mean, no one cared. Fable came to PC. Nobody
cared.
No one cared.
It's like
nobody went to PC.
Exactly. Xbox, man.
People be
putting PC shit in E3. That's what happened.
Well, you know where that comes from. They've always been putting games on PC. It's just they were a couple years not doing it.
They just never announced it on E3 and brought it on as a feature.
That's because they're actually trying to penetrate that that install base.
Think about it. Where that's coming from is because people are looking at Sony and they see what they've done with their first party exclusives and that you can only play it on the PlayStation console. And I think it's more magnified in this case with Microsoft because of the success that Sony's had doing that.
I mean, look what they did. They changed.
Gears of War was launched day and date on the 360. It wasn't on PC until a month later, a year later.
Games for Windows.
The exclusive. Yeah, games for Windows. Yeah. So the thing is that, but when Psycho, I ask you this because Phil Spencer says that the Xbox console owner is also a PC owner. He says that that's why he did this because you could play anywhere you want. So he is wrong when he said that's a game.
Cut out. He was wrong when he said what?
He's wrong when he says that I see an Xbox console owner as the same person that plays on PC. And he said that so many times. That's why he said play anywhere exists because you should play anywhere. It's your game. You should play anywhere. The thing is that why does he think the Xbox console gamer is a PC gamer? When everybody that I talk to says I only play an Xbox, I don't care what's going on.
This is why I said what I said when we had Jimmy on. It's because I feel like Microsoft is trying to. This is just my opinion. I feel like they're trying to push us in that direction. Like, maybe not next year, maybe not the year after that. Maybe the year after
they're
that.
Definitely doing it.
Exactly. So it's all talk. This is all talk and programming of the mind for us to be okay. Should Microsoft decide to make Xbox an app?
And you know what the funny thing I have about this is like you have a bunch of people on the internet that like want to tell how a multi-billion-dollar corporation how to make their money. Like it's clearly they ain't been messing up here recently. Like there's a reason that they're like when Microsoft does something, it always makes the news. Like there's a reason that when Microsoft does shit, it makes money. Like there's been very few things Microsoft has done that hasn't made money. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so who are we to tell them that, and I do think they are going towards a digital, more of a digital thing in the future with, the app. Because there's a reason they changed the Xbox store into the Windows app. You notice it's the same icon, but, they're going to try to, I don't think they're really trying to transition there. They're trying to make that more of a, you can play on either one. And
you also join parties from your phone.
Yeah.
Well, then didn't Phil Spencer say we'll be streaming games like over the next 5 years or something like that? Didn't he say a statement like that?
Yep.
It's like you guys.
That's Game Pass, man. That's the future. Is Game Pass.
Sure. That's the future of gaming. Maybe not next generation or the one after that, but I could see that there's a time in our lifetime that we won't be buying consoles. We'll be buying like a Amazon Fire Stick sort of thing. Plug it into your box, link it up to your control, and stream the game. That's definitely coming.
People don't realize is like you see what Microsoft's doing now. And, obviously it's easy to judge it, but these companies, they don't have a today and tomorrow schedule. They have a 10-year, 20-year schedule.
Exactly. That's what I was telling. It's the same thing I told Jimmy. Like, were you in that podcast? I told Jimmy the same thing. Like, and it's not just this is what we need to understand. It's not just Microsoft. They're both preparing themselves for that future.
Oh yeah, that's where gaming is going.
Why
PlayStation is doing it through PlayStation Now?
Yeah, why do you think they push Now so hard? Because they were trying it.
Yeah. They got the system in place. They got the system in place to make it happen.
How much you guys want to bet if PlayStation Now was successful, they would already be exclusives on that?
Right. I don't want to say exclusives on it right now.
No, I think there would.
You mean like the
if it would have
okay,
if it would have came out like kicking down
like current gen.
Yeah,
like current gen exclusives.
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha,
like I could see if it would have came down kicking like down doors like EA Access did, like 8 months after after like The Last of Us 2 or shit like that came out, it would be dropping on that for a couple months just to bring up sales. Like I can guarantee you, if there was more subscriptions out there, they would be doing stuff like that. But I don't know a lot of people that do it, that have that subscription. I think Jabari's the only dude I know that has that.
I have it. I did the $60 for the year. So I have it. I think it works pretty well. My son loves it. Like he just plays all the Lego games that are on there. You know, it is pretty cool for like this downtime, and it does work. So I think it's pretty cool. Like it is a cool future of streaming games. And you know what else I think it would do? I think of streaming games would really stop this whole like cherishing of one game. Like I think because you just have access to all these games, you just play stuff for the hell of it. You don't have that kind of financial investment in dropping $60 on one game and you better like it. What are the reviews? Is it a 7? Is it an 8? Because it doesn't matter because you're just paying for the service. So you could just plow through games.
I have a huge problem with the reviewing scene. This game. Like I feel like last gen it was bad, but I feel like this gen, if you don't get an 8 or a 9 or a 10, your game is trash.
I just said that. Yes,
100% agree with that.
I totally agree with that.
I'm like, you guys are literally like. I know it's hard to really, see the past that when IGN reviews something that, that's IGN score. There's a reason that there's a reviewer assigned to that game. That's not IGN score. That's Ryan McCaffrey's score.
Right.
That's whoever else reviewed that game. Like
all those guys are grabbing ass over there too. Do you see that guy got fired?
Oh, the Butt guy, Steve Butt.
Steve Butt's grabbing ass.
Yeah, grabbing ass.
Wow.
Well, but we got like one more topic to come just to talk about, and we probably might have a little bit.
Is it PUBG?
PUBG? No.
I thought you were going to talk about PUBG because that was a big topic that came out.
PUBG
the fan art.
PUBG's killing it, man. That's all we need to talk about.
That last update.
It's the top selling game on Xbox right now. So it's the number.
I thought you were going to talk about the PUBG CEO wanting to bring to every console, but he said Sony's very strict about the quality. That's why
I don't care about that shit.
I'm just asking. Yeah. I thought that's what you were going to talk about.
I don't think that's a big deal. It's like what publisher of a game that's up in the air that who doesn't say anything about a game? Everybody wants to bring their game to every platform. That's everybody's goal. Sunset Overdrive 2 is
like,
they're looking for a publisher. They want to bring it to
look, perfect example. Gears of War. Gears of War is about to go to Sony's platform, and Microsoft walked in and was like, "Okay, we were funding the project, but now we got to buy the project. We can't do this anymore." Like, well, I'm not saying Microsoft will put that kind of money out, but I'm saying if there's a game that they need to drop that check, it's PUBG.
Yeah,
I think
it's a shooter. I mean, look how well shooters do on the Xbox platform. I mean, it's a slam dunk almost.
Yeah, I mean, it would be if I was writing the checks at Microsoft, I'd be like, do what you can to lock this shit down, right? But the thing is that they're saying this. It's like, oh, if people would take all this information, it was like, oh, they take this information and they're like, oh my God, the PS4 version is coming. It's coming this date and it's going to run this much better. It's like that's how what people take with information like that. Sure, every developer says that, especially when it's an independent developer, when they have one platform in mind. Didn't Cliffy B said he'd like to bring the fucking lawbreakers to fucking Xbox? Nobody wants the shit, but he said something along those lines. It's like it's not that big of a deal, bro. It's like if it comes, it comes. I don't care either way. I'm not touching PUBG until it's like.
You ain't touching PUBG because you trash.
Look,
real here.
I don't have a complaint about the game of being skill based.
It's not about that. It's about his statement and how he said it. The fact that he said that Sony has they're about quality. And I'm just kind of like your statement when he specifically said quality. He said the reason he couldn't bring to the PS4, Sony's very strict about quality. Where it's basically like he's saying in a sense like, well, Microsoft really doesn't care if it runs like crap. They'll just take anything.
the
With
art
Sony-
developer-
There is a
Sony
rumor.
doesn't do game preview.
the ARC developer said
There
the same thing when they were trying to get their
There
game
is
over to PlayStation.
Right, and they said he said they're strict about quality. That's why Dan, and he said, so it probably will come to PS4. But once again, it goes back to the narrative I was talking about. Microsoft will get a game, and the game may not run as well or do as well. And PUBG is doing well, but what I'm saying is it may not perform as well on their system. And by the time it comes to whatever other said platform, it's working.
What other
No,
game
no,
did
no,
that?
no, no,
Wait,
hold on,
question.
wait,
What
wait,
other
wait.
game ran poorly
No.
and then was just great by the time it
But
got?
I mean, here
That's because the game is in preview. That's
Yeah, exactly.
Microsoft has
Right.
a preview program.
it is in preview, but
Sony doesn't have game preview.
if you look at it from
Right.
this perspective, there is a rumor. Yeah, you guys done?
Go ahead.
Anybody
Yeah.
speaking?
There is a rumor that they had what is a year's exclusivity on the game, right? So let's say that that's true, and I don't think that would be considered part of the preview program. Like they even helped make that preview program build. So like I don't think that's considered. So if let's say that game's in preview for 6 months to a year, because I think that is plausible. I think that is a good chance that at least 6
I
months.
don't think so. How fast those updates are coming out, though? They're coming out
Well,
like every
they're-
other week.
Well, remember they had like their piece, the Xbox One build of the game was based off the June PC build with a few updates. That's what
The whole thing.
So let's
to my
say
understanding.
let's say
Make your
6
point,
months. Let's say 6 months. Okay, I do think that. I mean, you can even say 3 to 6 months.
Mhm.
Okay, let's say 6 months, and then the year exclusivity attaches on, and then it's another year. Then it comes to PlayStation. Do you think that year and a half is enough
The year and a half is enough for what?
to be exclusive to the Xbox brand?
If it was any other game, I would say yes. But specifically with PUBG, I think that's the game they got to drop the check for.
Oh no, I agree. They need. I don't even think they need to buy exclusivity. I think they need to buy the whole company
I agree with you.
because,
Bluehole.
For
here's
one
the thing.
game?
You buy Bluehole, dude, they
Man,
bought
the game is
Minecraft
up,
for
man.
3.2
Stop,
billion
man.
dollars. It's like, look, you buy
It's
PUBG.
the hottest thing, man.
You buy
That-
PUBG.
that's
You put your best developers on that, and you make a bomb Windows 10 version that's and far superior to the Steam version, and you automatically are going to get some move. Tell me, people will buy PUBG on Windows if it runs flawlessly.
Attic, what coalition working with Bluehole to get this game working on Xbox?
Yeah.
If that's the case, I mean, it's a home
No,
run. I just don't see how
and,
Microsoft
you know,
will do it.
I know a lot of people.
PUBG on Xbox versus the final PUBG on if it comes to PlayStation, it would be like almost two different games because the Xbox version, the final product is going to have like two different one they're going to be using the water tech from Sea of Thieves, which it won't be able to have that on PlayStation, obviously just out of licensing, and then whatever enhancements the coalition help make into the game. Let's see what they do with that. I just feel like I'm just curious to see how is this game going to be delivered on the platforms that it's projected to go to.
I'm pretty
the
sure
thing about
Microsoft owns the code for the Xbox for the console version.
You buy shit like Mojang for Minecraft, and that was a big deal. But
that wasn't out of their gaming fund. The fund that's that was corporate money. That was the
money.
Yeah, that was the money that was in the back. That wasn't the money that was in the back that they keep for a rainy day.
They had some extra money sitting in Europe banks or something like that. They had some money in Europe.
All right, well, to use the rest of it and get PUBG. Pay the Koreans and get PUBG.
I definitely, I do. I think that if they bought PUBG, they bought the whole company. And people are like, oh, it's one game. This game doesn't seem to be calming down at all. It jumps to consoles and sells 2 million in a month.
So how can they buy PUBG now? It's it's already getting out there that it's going to other platforms. The guy said he wants to put it on.
It doesn't matter.
Gears
actually Gears of War was legitimately on the edge, about to start the development for the PlayStation. They even made an announcement that they were about to announce something big, and they said PlayStation users tune in, wink, wink, and then they bought it 3 days later. The whole company, the whole brand.
Well, that's Microsoft's, and Mo.
Wait, who said that? Epic?
Yeah, Epic said that.
They could have been talking about Paragon.
No,
it was
way
Gears.
before Paragon.
It was Gears. It was supposed to
Game
come
that's
to
not on
PlayStation.
Xbox, right? Paragon is
That's why
exclusive.
they dropped that
That's not.
money.
Yes, Microsoft is that's their MO. They'll drop that money on certain things. I mean, they drop money on Rare, but they didn't do anything with Rare.
I mean, for some of the games they've dropped money on, I mean, come on, man.
I don't think
This is the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah, this does make sense to me. I totally agree, but
they're not in the business though of buying games to keep them off other platforms.
They
want to build the prep to make the game so they could sell it, license it out to other platforms.
I get that, but at the end of the day, if it comes from corporate, they want to buy PUBG for financial purposes. It's like I said, the Windows. I'm telling you guys, if they made a far superior Windows version that's not on Steam, they're gonna have a huge migration to people coming over to Windows from Steam. That's the number one most played game on Steam almost at all time.
It was at 3 million concurrent.
And imagine
into Windows Store. What?
Imagine no. People are gonna go where the better game is. There are. It's a proven fact.
People for one game.
People literally bought Cuphead twice because they went from the Windows Store to the Steam store.
That is true. I know a couple people that did that.
That's an easier transition than going from Steam to Windows Store.
So
problem with the save file on the Windows Store.
But I'm saying that they actually make a good version. I'm not saying make a shitty version, Jazz. Now listen to what I'm saying. A far superior version than Steam. You're going to see a giant migration from that to the Windows Store. I wouldn't be surprised once you get the big streamers attached into this. I'm like, yo, this runs way
what
better.
Is the far superior version on, like, what does that look like? It has like grass and the other one doesn't?
No, I'm talking the game runs decent, not like dog shit. Like Windows
run the way your PC is though. Like,
but see, here's the thing: the Steam version is I've seen multiple PC people bitch that is optimized like dog shit.
I'll be honest with you, the 1.0 version ain't too bad, man. It's actually running decent, to be honest with you. It's a lot better than a couple months ago. I can tell you that because I've also put it on PC as well.
Better though. That's it's running off
it's
the same
not
hardware.
The Windows Store. It's the game they put on the Windows Store after they made it. That's not the Windows Store. It's the game on the Windows Store.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to push a Windows Store, you get again. It goes back to the killer app.
There is not a better game to push that store than PUBG right now. There's just not.
Oh, you're talking about for consoles?
Yeah, and especially if they wanted to be dirty and cut the PUBG off of Steam, because they could do that if they bought the whole franchise and the entire rights to everything about that game.
Oh, but they wouldn't.
You wouldn't do that for goodwill.
That's what their biggest market is on Steam.
Obviously, they're not going to do that. But I'm saying that they like obviously look at Minecraft. They was already on other platforms. They weren't just going to cut it. You know, Microsoft literally got the biggest fuck you button that they could push at any time, and it's called Minecraft, and they don't do it.
Yep. Yeah, if they ever do it.
But why would they? Because they make so much money off of that.
Consoles. They were going to do that. They'll pull it off all the consoles. People thought they were going to do that when
platform. That definitely will move consoles. If let's say they came out with Minecraft 2, for sure.
Again, you know what else? What sucks about Minecraft is that they really never made like I guess the 4K update. I guess is the only benefit that we got, but they really never gave a huge good incentive that they own it on their platforms. Like they gave the exclusive Mario stuff over to Nintendo. You know, they never really
like I told you that transaction to buy that Halo game was not for the gaming industry. It was for the Microsoft Corporation. It was to bring them money. It wasn't for gaming.
I mean, Havoc.
They made a Minecraft TV show. They make merchandise now. They license that shit out to Telltale. I mean, they do way more with Minecraft. That isn't even. I wouldn't even consider that an IP that Phil Spencer's like, I can use this to do something. That's an IP that Phil Spencer's like, okay, I have to ask, can I do something with this?
I can agree with that.
Yeah, that's the corporate. Well, just like Havoc, like I think Nadella came out and said the stuff at the end of last year about how they want them to be like the cradle to kind of distribution of game development. Like they really want people to use their tools, develop on their platform, and they're making all those moves to do that. Mm-hmm. And I don't see them seeing an end product and buying it going, now it's on our platform and nowhere else. Because I don't see them do that anymore.
I don't see them doing that because the game mostly dominates in the Asian market. That's why I don't see it. It's not dominating like, and that's the thing. That game is dominating in the Asian market. That's why they'll never do it.
And when it comes down to it, I just want to say this: Look, can we all just agree that, you know, I know that people don't like this stigma, but Xbox is a shooter box. Let's be real here. Like,
oh, it is, of course.
Yeah, it is. No doubt about it.
Like,
That's why
and that is the reason Microsoft is failing this generation.
And they need to embrace it.
Capitalize on that part.
Yeah.
What,
I mean, PUBG, as much as success it's had on Xbox, Microsoft won't go and buy that game by itself and say, "Here we go, we're just going to own it," because its biggest success is in Asian territories. I mean, only 24% of people in America are playing this game on Steam or wherever. So that's 24%. The biggest user base is in Asia. That's the biggest user base.
That's fine. But money's still money, though.
I was actually playing it on PC recently, like yesterday or the night before, and I'm playing on the North American servers, and every single person I could hear was speaking Chinese or Japanese. They were speaking Asian for sure.
Right. So I mean, they're not going to just say, "Okay, we're going to take this game and put it here." And it's on. If anything, I think I agree with they could buy it and it would still be everywhere, and they could own it. It's still kind of like a Minecraft deal. I could agree.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If it's bought, it's corporate. It's not the gaming industry.
Right, and I can see that happening, and that, you know, is good for them. I have no problem with that. I mean, but on the flip side, I mean, I think that the Xbox going forward, the whole console next generation of 2019, PUBG, all this software has got to be. They have to focus on the software.
Yeah, I definitely, you know, since we were saying software, can we get off of this and go to the games that's leaked? Please don't say we already talked about that.
Oh, we didn't talk about it.
We did. Let's go.
Been trying to get to that.
I got to work at 9 in the morning. We got to move on. Let's go.
No. So I've been trying to get to this thing for like a minute.
Well, I get that. You the host. You're supposed to.
Well, I'm hosting the show with a bunch of people that talk too damn much.
You're supposed to bitch slap people. Be like, yo.
Well, at least he didn't leave for the podcast. At least he didn't leave.
All right, so the rumor is, and I feel like this rumor happens like fucking once every 6 months, is that a new Fable game is coming, and it's like a new Fable game, a third-person Perfect Dark, which I've been advocating for a while now. Check out.
I said first, and you just
weaponwheelnetwork.com. I wrote an article about it. A Forza Horizon 4 set in Japan. Now, this is actually likely only because I've seen this shit well before this leak of like this whole Japan theme, and it would be sick. I can imagine HDR and neon lights. Oh my god!
And you talking about Forza?
Forza Horizon.
Oh yes, I would
and you know the funny thing, Japan. When Kid Smooth says shit, like they always like brush it under the rug. Like, I kid you not, like, people were joking with Kid Smooth when he said this, but Kid Smooth legitimately had the entire outlays to the Pro like 8 months before they came out. Like, literally everything about the Pro. And, like, when he I don't know how he got it, but I convinced him to send it to me. And, like, it was legitimately everything. I didn't say nothing because it was Kid, and I wasn't going to, like, you know, have whoever sent Kid that, you know, be like, well, fuck you, Kid, I ain't send you shit ever again. But, you know, I didn't say nothing, but it was literally everything about the Pro from what it looked. The only thing it didn't have what it looked like. That's the only thing. It had all the specs in it.
Yeah, that was I mean, that's why I was doing those tweets, those cryptic tweets and videos about it. I actually was hyping it back, but nobody gave me shit for hyping the Neo. Nobody gave me shit for hyping the Neo. Only gave me shit for hyping the Scorpio.
Fuck that list. Don't you?
All right. Now I remember I was tweeting, I'm gonna be playing the best version of Uncharted 4. Haha. Nobody gave me shit for it. Okay. But and
they're just gonna call you crazy, man. You know how it is.
There's a new Mech Assault in the works. So I mean, what do you think? Like, these are the games people have been asking for. I mean, well, Forza Horizon 4 we want. I've been asking for a Perfect Dark, something on the lines that can compete with a Tomb Raider and Uncharted set in the Perfect Dark universe. Be sick. And a new Fable game. I don't mind Fable Legends. I thought Fable Legends played good and it looked good.
Go kill yourself.
So, especially, oh my god, Fable Legends with HDR would have been sick. Oh,
Fable Legends looked good. I give you that, but that game was
Fable Legends was trash. You can
look good
at something as amazing as possible. It doesn't make it any less trash.
All right, are you? Should we be seeing those games? Should we be seeing those games at E3 2018?
Oh yeah.
Not
I
Microsoft.
really
hope
Do you
so.
got-
Probably
do we see all four? Do we see
should be
all four?
seeing
Do we get how many of those of that list you think we?
I don't think we're seeing Forza.
Forza.
You don't think we're seeing?
No, take a
Forza?
break?
I don't think
No,
we're
we're gonna see a
Forza.
Forza.
No, I think they're taking a break.
Or Playground's working on one of those games.
Nah.
I think Playground's
Fable.
working on. No, I'm sorry. Like that it might have been confirmed that that screenshot was fake, but they did say they were working on a third-person open-world
Yeah,
adventure.
they are,
game.
but they
And I'm
also,
telling you,
but they're
Playback
also
is working
hiring
on
a
Fable.
whole new team for that, though.
Yeah.
Wait, who's working on Fable?
I'm telling you, Playgrounds is
Playground.
working on Fable.
The fuck?
That'd
I'm
be
telling you.
interesting.
I mean, they did say
They said they
I
were
heard the
working
same
on
thing.
a
I think.
third-person action
Action-adventure open world. They're yep.
That
Third
is
person.
literally Fable. Like it could be something else, but
I would hope it's
I don't-
something else.
I don't understand how like a company that works was really, really close to Microsoft. Phil Spencer has said multiple times that Fable isn't dead. They are doing stuff with it, and then they're automatically start a company that's really close to Microsoft's making an open world.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're also hiring a whole new team for that. They're hiring people from many different studios for the new game that they're working on. They sent out was it a blog or some shit like that on their new announcement? So I think the team that's working on Forza Horizon has been working on Forza Horizon. The team from Playground that's working on a new game is a different team.
Forza games, man.
We're gonna get another Forza E3.
You haven't
No, but
played a
that was a
Forza
big-
game though.
I
Like,
played Forza Horizon
Horizon.
3. What are you talking
Man.
about?
So, all right, other than Forza Horizon 3 was the last one you played.
And I played 2.
Yeah, but
for
that
like
was the
2
one
days.
game that had legs, though.
It's like, but you're
That
saying
game,
it like, like, how can you personally be sick of them and you ain't even wear yourself out on them?
So I've played 2 out of the 3, and I haven't weared myself out of them. Okay, kid, let's move on.
You played 2 out of the 3. Did you wear yourself out of Forza Horizon? Like, how can you be sick of it? Like,
What you're talking
I-
about? Is he talking about the Forza series itself or just the Horizon
The
series?
Horizon, like I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
tired.
it's
of
the
seeing
best one of
Forza.
them all. Like,
I'm just tired of seeing Forza. Like, come on.
they're essentially 2 different games.
I
It's
understand
2 different
there's
games,
2
though.
different
Yeah,
games,
arcade
but
racers.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
Are you tired
matter.
of seeing
It
the
has
logo?
The simulation
one
race.
name. The moment you see Forza, it doesn't matter if it's Motorsports or it's Forza Horizon. They're both Forza. They have one franchise they're under.
So
No,
you don't like the
it's a-
logo. You don't like the name.
No, it's not that. It's just all the resources they waste on this Forza, man.
How they
Like,
wasting
It's just
resources?
it's 2 different games, 2 different developers. What you
I just prefer
I don't
something
think they're
new,
gonna
man.
put
I'm tired of
Horizon
Forza.
Forza.
I don't care. I don't know about you, but I love my Halo, Gears, and Forza. So.
Oh my god.
Halo, Gears, and
You know
Forza.
what I mean? Microsoft
There it is.
puts out these Forza games, man, and they sell in droves. I just don't see them not making the games. You know
Shout
what
out
I
to
mean?
the chat. 111
Forza Horizon
watching.
ready.
Please hit the like button. So
Well,
your
we'll see a
engagement-
Forza Horizon game this year.
I-
E3.
You know what?
Horizon
To
3 is
hold-
a good developer.
I'm going to hold by my guns because I don't want that game being made. So,
You know
want
what?
game being made?
I don't want
Xbox guy in the chat said Fable's probably being made by Rare. That's another possibility.
That would be amazing.
I don't want it to
Why
be.
would that be amazing?
I don't want.
I
them
mean,
to.
it depends on what part of the Rare studio is making it. That would be
I don't-
amazing.
I don't
Rare
want
hasn't.
either
What
one.
has Rare really did for Microsoft since they've acquired them?
I don't want
Other than-
either one of them doing it.
Rare has gave us Perfect Dark Zero, Cameo Elements of Power, Connect Sports Series, and they're giving us
There goes
CFPs, and they gave us Xbox avatars.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Weird that they gave us Xbox.
They
Avatar.
gave us Xbox avatars. Like, what major games have they give us? They haven't given us another Banjo.
It's not Fable. Stop saying dumb.
And they gave us,
Stop
Rare,
saying it. I don't
replay.
want to hear it.
I don't want another
don't
Banjo.
have-
Banjo's like the most overrated
I
platform
wouldn't
I've
have
ever heard
a-
of, man. I swear to
I
God.
wouldn't mind a good band.
I agree. I agree. Smooth.
Fucking Banjo is fucking trash. I'm sorry. It's the most overrated fucking.
Hey! Why don't you play Banjo Kazooie and stream it and beat it?
You know
No.
what though?
It's
Stream
okay.
that
CD's coming out.
Like, not
Stream
even
that
like
game and beat it.
I can't stand Banjo. This fucking bear controls like shit.
I want
Like,
you
I
to
don't
stream
understand.
that game and beat it.
With that Sea of Thieves hype coming, Rare may be back on the map. It's possible.
People act like
Uh,
CDs is gonna flop. I don't think CDs is flopping.
I
there's
thought
no
it was
way.
gonna flop, but
There's
to be
no
honest,
way.
I'm seeing a lot of hype about it, man. To be honest
We'll
with you,
have to see.
And what's funny is like, I ain't gonna say who, but we got people acting like no one was interested, no one was in lines at E3, and it's always the most played game at
Yeah.
E3 every year. It's at.
With Jimmy with his nobody was looking forward to the fuck out of that bullshit.
It's literally every time I had no problem with Jimmy, but it's like every time that game is at E3, I've been there both years that game's been at E3 on the floor. It's been one of the most lines in the entire conference.
What game
Every
is this
time.
again?
Sea of Thieves.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's picking up hype, man. It's picking up hype.
You said you don't like Banjo, but I'd rather take Banjo, over most of the platformers at Microsoft. I mean, look at we just got freaking Lucky Tales. I'll take Banjo over Lucky Tales. Like Banjo's, I don't understand. You don't like Banjo? How can you not like Banjo?
He needs to stream it. I'm down for this. He needs to stream this.
Viva Pinata, yeah.
Yeah, like how can you not like Banjo but you play Super Lucky's Tale? Like I don't understand it.
That was a wash, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a brand new Banjo game. I'll take that, but now this E3, we're gonna see a Forza game. I don't think we'll see a Fable game. I don't think we're gonna see a Fable game until they launch a new
You gotta have a car on stage. How can they not have a car on stage?
I think every E3 they've had an announcement for one of their racing franchises.
If they want to stealth release that shit, go up on the stage and be like, we're releasing Forza, a little like 2-minute gameplay. I'm cool with that. I'm tired of spending 10 damn minutes talking about the fucking car, then 5 minutes showing the gameplay, and before you know it, I've been and keep in mind, no, like what when they were
that was revealed.
All right, Gaming Addict. What if they called it Xbox Motorsport or some shit like that? Like, what if the name changed? Would that make you happy?
I think I might be more inclined. Okay.
Yeah. Forza gonna be there for sure.
They just need to bring back Project Gotham. Bring back Project Gotham.
There you go.
Project Gotham Racing was the business.
It's hot. It's hot.
Man.
They got to do, and then maybe they'll do something different where they won't have it on stage, but then they'll be like, well, via satellite, we have somebody in Tokyo with a new car, and he'll be driving around Tokyo. And
I can see them doing something like that.
Man, I recently downloaded that Hot Wheels thing. I didn't realize how cool that shit was.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man.
That was nice.
More of that. I don't know where they stopped at, like Hot Wheels. They should have kept going.
That shit was cool.
Shout out to 10th Gen for the $5 donation.
Yeah, so who's going at Jimmy in the chat for not beating what? What is going on? Did I miss something?
I think I was gone for a minute. I had to sneeze. Jimmy, I don't know. Jimmy's always got something. Just to give you guys a heads up, I have no beef with Jimmy at all. So
Jimmy's cool.
I mean, I have no beef with Jimmy either, man. Jimmy's
but the thing is, every time Jimmy says I always feed the trolls, meaning he says I feed the people that's coming to me with information. The thing is, Jimmy falls into this kids move is coming at me trap all the time. If I say Jimmy or ask Jimmy a question or say anything, he tenses up. He gets slightly offended about it for no reason. I have no personal problem at Jimmy.
Look.
And every time I address Jimmy on Weapon Wheel, it's not personal. It's not me hating. It's nothing against him. I just sincerely want to know. I'm a person that likes
Halo gives him Forza.
Look, I just before Jimmy leaves, man.
I connect with Jimmy a lot, and Jimmy doesn't take that. He doesn't appreciate my attempt of the olive branch I be offering.
Look,
and
before,
he just slights me.
Before Jimmy leaves, I don't know if he's left yet, man. You my dude, but like at the end of the day, I'm still gonna say you full of shit with that Sea of Thieves. Show me the video, Jimmy. Remember, kid, we asked him for like 30 minutes where the video was.
Yeah, the Sea of Thieves, the Sea of Thieves line. But hey, yeah, but that was I still call it bullshit because Jimmy still haven't accurately backed that there was no line for Sea of Thieves.
Xbox guy, like, look, man, like I appreciate the support for Planet Xbox, but you gotta lay out Jimmy there, man. You gotta lay out.
He's a grown man; he can hold his own.
You gotta lay out Jimmy.
Shout out to Jimmy, man. Shout out to Jimmy.
But all right, so I got one more topic, and I'm mad everybody come joining in right now. Why do all 127 of you guys need to come watch now?
Get to the topic.
No, we got one more topic to go.
Well, do you think all those games are NBA 3 or one of them, two of them? Like, I
say Forza Horizon Japan and probably
Xbox get cars. Okay, we're gonna call it something different.
No, Forza Horizon Japan. Forza Horizon Tokyo Edition.
Yeah, I think 2 of those games
I
we'll see.
did look at
That's it.
just the update. I did look at the post, and he said it didn't say Mech Assault; it just said Mech. And he also predicted. He also was saying that he pulled out from the thing 2 Halo games. He was saying that there were 2 Halo games in there. Not some people are saying Battle Royale type game, but they were just saying that there were 2 games in there that he was getting from that thing. Now, again, this guy leaked some stuff like a year or 2 ago, something like that, and some of it was legit. They're still trying to confirm it to see if it's a legit post, but he just pulled some stuff out, and it sounds like a fan's dream of kind of what they really need to do at E3. I think,
it does sound like
a
a
wish
dream.
list of things.
But
I just want to know how many times we're gonna act like Perfect Dart's coming back.
I know.
It needs to.
When I said that, I was like,
Hey,
it needs to.
that'll make some noise at E3. They announced that for
Maybe
sure.
a new Killer
Imagine-
Instinct also. New Killer Instinct too.
Imagine if all that got announced with like a Halo 6 gameplay.
Oh yeah, that would be
Fire.
great.
Yeah.
You know what though? If you really think about it, they really should show Halo gameplay at this coming E3.
Nah,
Especially with this past E3 being on, I get it. They showed a ton of games, all that stuff, all that third party. But for them to qualm that whole first party thing, they got to show Halo something. They got to show Halo 6.
What they got to do on Halo is like people think it's coming out. They're gonna drop a Bethesda, announce that at E3, and it comes out later on the holiday. Like, when the fuck have they ever done that? Like, let's be real here. Like, when have they ever announced a game like Halo and launched it 6 months later?
Right. I was just going
that's
back to
that's not realistic.
That game is coming out in 2019.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
What game?
But they got to show something. I think they got to show something.
Well, they'll show
I think they'll show a trailer of like Cortana fucking shit up, and then gameplay next year at E3.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think this
agree
is
with that.
unfortunately have the Crackdown 3 coming out party.
That's no different
Yeah,
than
the
when
Crackdown
Last of Us 2.
party.
That-
All
that-
right,
that's
so can we get to the
Last of Us 2?
next topic? The final topic is 2018 expectations.
Oh,
Last
there you
year,
go.
I feel like right now, I feel like we were in the same position that we were in January 2017. Right. Even though we knew Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, and State of Decay were coming, we just didn't know when in a year. So we got a release date for Sea of Thieves that's coming in 2 months. Wow, holy crap! That sounds so awesome to say. So Sea of Thieves is coming in March 20th. I predicted that date on episode, was it 26 or 25 of Planet Xbox? I said March 20th. Definitely should have put some money on that, but your boy getting it right as always.
I'm just glad
Hashtag crazy.
I'm just glad that I was right and Jez was wrong. That's all that mattered to me.
So now the thing is, what is your expectations for Xbox in 2018? Like, now that the Xbox One X is out and Sea of Thieves is right around the corner, now what's the expectation for the rest of the year? What does Xbox do this year?
I don't know what
EA.
I don't know what Xbox is going to do this year, but I have a feeling the Switch is going to win every month this whole year.
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't give a damn about what the Switch is going to do. I want to know what Xbox.
I think the Xbox is going to do a major deal with EA this year. Something big with EA. Something. I see with EA, with all the stumbles they've had. I think Microsoft and EA have always had a really close partnership.
You're not predicting anything new. They're going to be marketing Anthem. So that's it. That's the big.
I think we're going to get a bigger surprise at E3. I think.
Nigga, we're going to get Anthem gameplay, and it's going to show up on Xbox.
I guarantee you, Microsoft and EA do something exclusive for that console. I can see it. They've always had a good partnership.
They don't have exclusive marketing deals, but
with EA
you know that exclusive.
The best thing EA can do for Microsoft is sell Microsoft Titanfall. Do us that favor.
I agree, because they clearly don't give a fuck about that game either.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, I'd rather have one console have it than it be multiplayer.
And assign Amy Hennig to a Microsoft studio. Like, just saying. Just saying that's the best EA can do. Otherwise the only thing they're collaborating with is Madden, as always, and Anthem. So
because they don't got FIFA no more either.
I mean, I think that hurt them way more than if they lost Madden, because
100%.
FIFA was their lifeline to other countries, and they lost that.
To Europe, big time.
To Europe, big time. I just say I'm calling it first. EA and Microsoft are going to have something big this E3.
Are you going based off emotion or you know something?
No, I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna call it and just say that.
Okay. All right. I say it's Anthem. That's it. Hopefully Psycho, you've been quiet for a little bit with
Yeah, man, I've just been
2018, man.
listening.
Let me know what's going on with 2018.
I don't know what they're going to do, but I can tell you what I hope. I just hope they announce something VR related or AR related. I already know they're going to come out with a Forza. Halo's not coming out this year. Besides with the rumor or whatever it was, is saying. I expect them to, since the hardware is out, I expect them to invest more in games and also invest more in the marketing. Just getting whatever they have, getting that out there to the public and letting people know what they have.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about them reminding me about what Xbox is. It's not
about me or you. It's about everyone. It's about everyone else because. Since I got the PSVR or whatever, I've been in GameStop a lot, buying shit or whatever. And I'm starting to hear a lot of these conversations that I used to have with casual gamers, just people talking and stuff like that. And you hear people talking, like I was in line the other day and I heard this lady talking about PUBG. Yeah, he wants PUBG. He wants for PUBG. Yeah, we're going to get it. Yeah, we're going to get it on the PlayStation. Yeah, we finna get it. I'm in line right now getting ready to get it. So that tells me that she knows about PUBG. Her kid is asking about PUBG, but she doesn't know that it's on Xbox. You know what I mean? And so those are the kind of things that I feel like Microsoft needs to work on is their promotion and stuff like that. When I go to GameStop, I see the PlayStation being used. I see it in the kiosks. On the Microsoft thing, I don't see any controllers. All I see is...
Sorry to interrupt you, Psycho. This man, Doc Trey, once in the podcast for some reason.
No. Come on, Doc Trey.
Is that Doc Trey?
No, don't.
Doc Trey.
Every time we let random motherfuckers in here, it never works out for us. Let's stay away from that.
It's Doc Trey. You know who Doc Trey is, all right?
No, I don't who he is.
You don't know who Doc Trey is?
You don't know who Doc Trey is?
Who is this?
The Nintendo guy.
Okay. No, you know, most people when they refer him, they say Dr. Trey. Like they don't just say Doc Trey. Like that sounded like some weird shit when you said that.
Doc Trey, tweet me so I can inbox it to you. Let me see.
What does he want in this?
I don't know what he want in the Xbox podcast.
He just want to say Nintendo's the best.
Drop some Nintendo Pokemon bombs.
Come on, tell us that Mario's GOAT.
Toronto, what I was saying, though, I just think Microsoft needs to put more investment into marketing.
Am I following this dude on fucking Twitter? Hold on, Doc Trey.
Just like change the topic.
Dr. Trey,
before he gets in here and derails the whole podcast, let me because he's clearly going to derail this podcast. I can already tell you that. But I want to go ahead and say my two piece. I think they're going to announce a new Elite controller at E3. I think they're going to announce a new Elite controller at E3. I think there's going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 new IPs at E3. And it doesn't even necessarily a new IP from scratch. It's like, regardless if it was an IP that they're reviving, I think it's going to be something like that. I do think they're going to build more of a portfolio when it comes to Game Pass.
Doesn't matter how you get in.
What the fuck?
Oh, see, I thought that was Dr. Trey. I was I told you.
Fucking playing out of nowhere, like. It's just
but
stupid.
I think I really do. For some reason, I have a reason. I have a huge feeling that Microsoft they're gonna be swinging this year. Like there's just no way they took all those punches in 2017 and don't realize they need to do something this year.
Last year was all about hardware. They got to come with that software this year.
No, I think
the media is going to be railing that for sure.
I think E3 is going to be revolved around their actual first parties.
Think?
Yeah, it has to be.
I think they're going to spread out their announcement. I think they're going to try to do some. My prediction is that I think they might do some sort of spring showcase again and show some of the games that we know about. And show the maybe like around Sea of Thieves comes out like a week or two before, or like around St. Patty's Day, they'll do a spring showcase, show off Sea of Thieves, really promote that, and then start showing State of Decay 2 because they got to start showing that game more, and then maybe a sneak peek at Crackdown.
Crackdown's at
and
E3.
then Yeah, and I agree. I think Crackdown's coming out like the cloud and all that.
I think
the
Crackdown's good.
stuff is at E3.
I think Crackdown's going to be the game they
Holiday
show,
game.
the showcase they show
Yeah.
before their big showcase at E3.
Yeah, and I think what they'll do at E3 is that they'll show maybe see, the thing that's really cautioning me about them just like showing everything at E3 is him not wanting to reveal games too early. So you got to think he's not going to show Fable if it's really 2 years out and they're still developing the studio.
Mhm.
And if he made the deal last year, like, hey, Fable might not be ready until 2019. I think you get a teaser of Halo 6 and maybe maybe a perfect doc. I would love.
I think that Doc Dre accounts may be fake, but okay, go ahead.
Here's a question.
But I would think they do that.
Here's a good question for you guys. Let's say that State of Decay comes out critically acclaimed. Let's say that at E3 they announced that Crackdown actually does the multiplayer that they promised, and Halo 6 is coming out this year. What kind of year would they have?
I think they have a stronger year.
For sure.
Oh yeah,
I think they have a stronger
100%.
year. 100%
give a
stronger
Halo
year.
6 beat of a Crackdown 3 as a homage.
I think
the end of the year.
Halo
I think they'll end the year really strong if Halo comes out the end of this year.
They would drop Halo in November.
Yeah, that would end the year super strong for
And
Microsoft.
that's the only game Microsoft has that can survive a November release date.
Yeah.
100%.
No, actually, Halo hasn't dropped in November since.
But if they have Crackdown, they're gonna have to.
Since Halo 1 or Halo 2.
But you can't put Crackdown in November; it'll get eaten.
Nah,
Crackdown's in mid-October.
Halo. I don't think
Crackdown's
Halo's
October.
coming in 2018. I think.
No, obviously, we're just
2019.
speculating.
I think Crackdown is actually going to be in the fall, and I think they'll it's going to be either September or
agree.
October. State of Decay sometime in June or July, if it's ready.
They need to
I think State of Decay, the moment it gets, the moment that it shows at E3, it's out that day.
Nah, I doubt it. It's
Out
too
that
big of
day
a
or that
risk.
week. Out that day or that week.
Nah,
Hmm.
they need something to market, dude. They needed something to market. They marketed Super Lucky Sales. They're not going to do no fucking same day, same release shit with no damn State of Decay.
I think Crackdown to come out in August, State of Decay to come out in October.
No, I think it's flipped.
I just trying to see which one's
I think it's
ready.
flipped.
The only ready game that I knew that was coming first was Sea of Thieves. I knew
Yeah,
that.
no,
I
I
knew from I was like, Sea of Thieves is going to be the first one of those three to come out because
I didn't.
it's playable.
Yeah, I've been heard State of Decay. It was rough about 4 months ago.
Mm.
So I really don't know, and that's what concerns. Like, is it going to be a repeat of last year, or this is going to be the year that those
If I
40
were to make-
games
If
come
I
out?
were-
I know. Go ahead.
If I were to make a bet, I would say State of Decay, lower to the middle of September, and I would say Crackdown October 24th to 29th.
Yeah, but you know what?
I'm gonna say this about Crackdown. Crackdown has to be what they
October.
Crackdown has to be what they promised, man. It has to be.
Here's a
It can't
question.
be anything less.
It's a whole refresh. Yeah,
And there's a new
Crackdown-
Battlefield coming out this coming year. So
Yeah,
that's probably going to come out in October.
If Crackdown comes out exactly how they promised, and the multiplayer is completely indestructible, do you think it could recover?
Yeah, as long as it delivers, it has to be good.
I don't
If
know.
it's-
It's been hurt.
That's a
pretty
hard
bad.
one.
Yeah, no,
Pretty
no,
bad.
it needs to look like what it first looked like when they first did it. It has to look like that
Yeah.
game. It can't look
Yep.
like the one they've been playing.
I
that
just
fucking
want to get
console.
out of January without them canceling it.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
forgot.
canceling
Yeah,
it.
I don't
That's
think
true.
they won't get
Crackdown
canceled.
has
That
until
game
the
will
end of
come
this
out
month to be canceled, bro.
Look,
Because
that
their
game
games
come out
cancel in
bad before
January. They cancel games in January.
That
They
game will come
delay
out.
and cancel games in January.
That game will come out complete dog shit before they cancel it.
Exactly.
I hope. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just saying they canceled Scalebound in January. So
Well,
let's get
that's
out of
because it was
January.
a third party. I don't even
Well,
think
they got
Scale-
some studios working on
I don't
Crackdown.
even think Scalebound was Microsoft's decision. I think that it came into the higher ups. They're having a lot of conflict, and they just decided to part ways. It
That's
was
what
a
happens when you
mutual
get
thing.
robbed by some Japanese people. Just saying.
Well, they're flourishing on other consoles. I don't understand what the hell Microsoft did. Piss them off.
Piss them off. They were robbing.
They are
them.
not flourishing by any means.
Who?
You know,
What?
fucking can't stand. I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but it's like-
Okay, we're talking what, 2 games? Nier Automata and Bayonetta 3. Let's talk about the trash games they made. Ninja Turtle, Korra. Do I keep going?
And they also had that teaser at the Gaming Awards. So whatever game that is, which I'm not Bayonetta, that teaser. Everybody thought it was Bloodborne too, but it's not.
That is from
I'm just saying, like,
software.
That's not you're talking about. No, that was a From Software game. No, we're talking about Platinum. He's talking about Platinum.
Platinum games. Okay, yeah, From Software did the Bayonetta. Sorry. Well, Platinum did the Bayonetta. I got that right. So they're at least, like, I'm just saying that they're putting games on the consoles. I don't know what they like.
I think Platinum is good as their own IPs. That they're bad at any IP that's existing. Like they don't need to take up any kind of like they're making a movie game. They don't need to take up any IP that exists.
Platinum
they need to
do
their own IPs.
Platinum is good at doing the what I call the Last of Us effect. Take the same formula they made and just reskin it to another game. Let's be real. That's what they do.
Well, nothing's like I've never played a game that's like Nier.
Well, it's not that the game, the mechanics and everything's different, but the overall gameplay, I mean, it's just like Bayonetta. It's a hack and slash.
Oh, yes. It's a Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they changed certain mechanics and features about the game, but it's overall the same concept. Every game they make that's, successful because people like that shit.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. I was going back and forth with somebody on Twitter, and a lot of people, I know what most of your answers are going to be, but I'm going to ask it here. And I'll explain my answer. And we'll close the show.
I'll explain my answer. This isn't good.
we'll close the show after this, right? Bigger risk: Guerrilla's Horizon Zero Dawn or 343's Halo 5 Guardians?
Horizon Zero Dawn was a bigger risk.
Yeah, Horizon.
Why?
Because it's a brand new IP. Halo's established.
I have to Horizon. Like, I can understand what you're going at from like in the perspective of how drastic they changed it on Gears, on Halo. Like, I do understand that, but if it wasn't the fact that the people who made that game, Horizon made that game, I would say Halo. But the fact that they made that, a first-person shooter made a third person, that they let them do that, I'd have to say Horizon. Like,
all right, this is the thing, and this is why I really don't understand this, right? Everybody's saying Horizon was a bigger risk because now that Horizon is a success. But Horizon is by Guerrilla.
It's completely.
Horizon is by Guerrilla Games, who've made what was Guerrilla's greatest game. Guerrilla had trash games, average games. Killzone was not like an amazing.
Yeah, they made shooting games, which sold decently.
I know to below average. Killzone was no mega thing that like holy crap. Like
pretty.
I know what you're about to say. You're about to say,
but
and I do agree.
Killzone wasn't selling PlayStation or like this marquee thing. Like damn, PlayStation goes down with Guerrilla Games or anything like that, right? Yeah. Nobody cared to fuck if a Killzone was coming out or not. So Guerrilla comes out and says, "Hey, we're gonna do an open world RPG, a very popular genre." Almost everybody makes an open world RPG game, but this is somehow a big risk for us because our other games were just massively successful and massively game of the year contenders.
To your point, kid, I actually agree with you. I think actually 343 took a bigger chance with Halo.
343 had the most because here they are. They're
like
to a much higher standard.
Like, I agree with you on that. Like
they're taking an existing franchise and they can go. If they fuck this up, they fuck up the franchise. It's like
of course.
Like actually, how like that's where I was coming
like
from.
If Sony did that with Uncharted. It's like if Sony did that with Uncharted.
I am going to change it because I didn't really think about the pressure they had from the industry, but that does make sense. So they weren't just having a game that Microsoft has. They were having their iconic game, like it's the game that if they fuck up, Xbox might be dead.
Studio was built off the people who actually made the game.
But I disagree because 343 helped make Halo Combat Evolve back on the 360. They helped do Halo 4, so it's not like they weren't inexperienced with making a Halo franchise.
Well, it's not that. Like, I do agree.
No, they did Halo 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Halo 4, but they did Halo Combat Evolved also. They helped make that on the 360. Halo 4. So it's not like 343 was like a studio didn't know what they were doing with the Halo franchise. They knew what they were doing.
No,
Bungie was still
people knew this wasn't Bungie. This wasn't the Bungie, even though most of them are like from like the same development team and shit like that. But it wasn't. This was a Bungie's long gone. You know what I mean? This is we're on a new console. A new Halo game, a new story, a new Master Chief story. It got all this hype behind it. They have to live up to the level and hopefully exceed what Bungie has done in years past on a smaller install base, hoping to have the same impact that Halo 3 had for 360. That hopefully Halo 5 will have the same impact for the Xbox One. And you're telling me the 343 and Halo 5 was it a bigger risk than Guerrilla just finally, okay, well, we don't want to do Killzone, let's try an open world RPG game. That's a bigger risk.
No, because they already did a Halo game.
Hold on, look. If you look at it from that perspective, just alone that perspective, I would say Horizon. But you got to look at it from the perspective of how they made Halo 5. They took the main antagonist out of the protagonist out of the whole game, pretty much. They gave you a new voice. They made the, your number one ally through all the other games, the main antagonist of the game. Like, those are like literally like doing one or two of those, your hardcores are probably going to turn on you. They did all of that shit. They took a huge risk on that story.
Yeah,
I feel like people say
really
I don't know why Guerrilla Games making a new game is a huge risk. Guerrilla Games were not making like classics or like blowing you apart. Ain't like they abandoned like a franchise that was up to here or some shit like that and just decided to make something completely new. This is not Naughty Dog throwing away Uncharted and starting The Last of Us. Like, no, it's like this is Guerrilla going from average franchise and start something new that was much better than anything they've created before. It's not a risk.
It's a simple way to look at this. A simple way to look at this is how much is invested into the project. All right, how much did Sony put into Horizon getting done? That'll establish your risk there. How much did Microsoft invest in? Okay, how much did Microsoft invest into Halo? Okay, knowing what's changed and what's happened here, your investment determines the biggest risk. So I would say, this is my personal opinion, I would say that Halo's a bigger risk because of what they put into the game. How much money is invested.
It wouldn't even
it's the return of investment. You're taking Xbox's most iconic character and basically removing them entirely from the story.
That's why I think it's the biggest risk. Like, they didn't even make a risk by making the game. Like, making the game, any game's a risk. They risked that game when they, like, I wouldn't even say they fucked up the story. They made shit really weird. They risked that game when they made Cortana, like the person who's been with you since the first one, a bad guy. They made that game when they took, a species that no one gave a fuck and made it return. Like, they risked that game at every quarter, and then let's not to mention they risked doing the advertising that they did because that was shady. Shit.
Advertising, hell, they changed the even though Halo has been slowly changing the gameplay, but Halo 5 is completely a modernized version of Halo. I don't want to aim down sights. I don't want to sprint. Like, I don't want to shooter thrust. Like,
people can do whatever they want about Halo 5, but that multiplayer is tight though.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand that. And me saying that Horizon Zero Dawn isn't a bigger risk than the Halo 343 doing the Halo 5 is not a shot at Horizon Zero Dawn. It's just like, what did Guerrilla have to lose?
Guerrilla has only made first-person shooters, and then you got to understand that Guerrilla.
None of them good.
No, hold on. It doesn't look. Hold on. Guerrilla's only made first-person shooters. They made first-person shooters. Their first game is different. Then they also did the Decima engine in 2013. They had developed that. So that was a big risk too, because now you have other studios that are using that engine for their game. So I think it was a bigger risk because when you have to develop a new engine. It's not like 343 came in and said, we're going to retool this whole Halo engine. Halo is Halo. The only thing they did to me, Halo's Halo. Like they said, okay, we can put sprint here. We can do this. Like, to me, the Halo engine is really unchanged.
It's stupid. All right, so would you say Ready at Dawn doing the Order 1886 was a bigger risk than Horizon Zero Dawn?
We said what I say? What I'm sorry.
Would you say Ready at Dawn? Is it Ready at Dawn? Doing the Order 1886 was a bigger risk than Guerrilla doing Horizon Zero Dawn?
That's a tough one. I would say.
Of course.
That's a tough
Ready
one.
At Dawn.
I would say Ready at Dawn. That was a
bigger risk than Guerrilla.
Yeah, I would say that's a way bigger risk. Yeah,
looking at the game, they were making PSP games. This is the first.
But it's not like 343 didn't know what they were doing. I mean, you got to think Bungie was still around until what 2000, I think 10. They were still around. They knew what they were doing. It's not like they
Guerrilla knew what they were doing. Just because they made first-person shooters doesn't mean they were retarded when it came to other games. Like they know they make games. They make one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. I can't really, disagree with that. We can't act like developers can't make other genre games. Let's be real here.
Yeah. And I would like 343 to make something else because look what Bungie did. Bungie did Destiny, which is basically in a sense Halo. But the simple fact of the matter is like the Halo name itself, and another studio coming and making it that's working with the same engine, the same tech. Like it's not a big risk. The risk they took, if you could say anything, is the story. Other than that,
what was the worst that could happen to Horizon?
That's the only risk to me. Say again.
I think I think that risk that they did on that story is more than enough to justify it being more of a risk than Horizon was.
Yeah, of course. My question is, what's the worst that could possibly happen with Horizon Zero Dawn?
If it flops, they close Guerrilla Games.
Yeah. They don't close Guerrilla Games.
You don't think they close them? I think
no, because they can eat off their engine. They can eat off their engine. They can license out their engine to every first party studio. Ever since everybody's gone with that mantra for Sony's first party, they can eat off that engine. They can remake another fucking Killzone since they're lacking first person shooters. Like I don't like if Horizon flops, it flops like fucking. It's not. I don't think it's like it's Doom. PlayStation ain't going to sell as much. Wow, that's one less Game of the Year nominee they have. Like what the fuck? Like, come on.
Horizon did well, and so did Halo. I just still think the bigger risk is with the Guerrilla Studios because they've only made shooters. They've only been stuck on shooters.
I think the biggest risk to Sony was the fact that they let this studio who just made shooters make a different game, and it paid off. And the fact that now
I understand what you're saying, Jez,
about
but make
RPG,
letting them make that game. I feel like isn't more of a risk than letting 343 completely redo the whole Halo universe.
It's just like
that's true.
Imagine something like how pissed off people out with Star Wars the newest Star Wars. Imagine that. Like just it was little things. Like they took a big
lose though with Halo.
They took a big. Well, I'm not really trying to ruin anything for anyone there, but they took a big protagonist from Halo 5 and made that bitch go crazy. Like that is some balls right there.
Especially with the history, of course.
Imagine
I think they went in and they shook things up, and I think that's what made that game so different.
Imagine at the very end, how I knew.
But they didn't take Cortana and just automatically go to make her crazy. That was building up from Halo 3 that she was going rampant.
Man, who is that drinking? I can hear your whole throat muscle.
Oh, my bad, man. My bad.
You know how I knew?
Thirsty.
You know how I knew it was over? I'm about to leave, but you know how I knew it was over for Cortana?
Go ahead.
At the very end, when she was when they were trying to run from her in hyperspace, and she was like, "I found you," and then shuts off all of Earth. I was like, "Yeah, she's done. Like, there's no coming back."
She's coming back. Trust me.
And she said it with.
She's definitely coming back.
Savage voice ever. She was like, "I found you," and then just shuts everything down. No, I think they're killing her.
But they've been hinting on going rampant in Halo 3. Like Bungie kind of hinted that. So they didn't really just take Cortana and say, we're flipping the script, man. She is going to be evil in this one. Like they were building that up that she was going crazy because her lifespan was since Halo 3.
I mean, it's not even just that. It's not even just that. They took, not even did they take the protagonist, Cortana, made her evil. They took the protagonist, Chief, and made him absent.
That's exactly the reason why it's such a huge risk. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And then they promoted the game.
I think the risk didn't really pay off.
Find the truth. Remember that?
Oh my God! Don't we start? Hunt the truth.
Yeah, the
I
truth.
must
Yeah.
call this friggin' thing.
Look,
When I played the game compared to how they were marketing it
This
was
is gonna be
completely
good. Oh my god, I'm like
upside down.
Terminator 2.
Look, I will
The
say this.
multiplayer was hot though, so that made up for it.
I will say this because I definitely got to go. I got to get some sleep. Look, regardless how they promoted that game, I understand why they did it. It doesn't make it any right. They did not want you to think. They wanted you to think so blind set on them fighting, and that this is going to be about him finding Master Chief, that they wanted Cortana going crazy to blind set you.
Yeah. It is
Oh, yeah.
what it is. You know what I mean?
I
It
don't
was
know.
Halo, so I was gonna buy it regardless. I didn't give a fuck how the fight played out. But just to give you guys a heads up, this happens with movie trailers all the time. Nobody fucking complains. But at the end of the day, Halo 5 was a good game. A lot of people want to lie to themselves and say Halo 5 was the worst.
Decent. I don't think it was all great.
A lot of people
decent.
lie to themselves and say Halo 5 is the worst Halo in the franchise. And for those who said that have not touched the multiplayer at all, I don't see what makes it the worst. There was nothing that I saw bad about the game. You know what I mean? But I digress. But we do got to get out of here because we're I think we're like 2 hours deep, and I want you guys to say your goodbyes and so we can get the hell out of here.
Cool. I'll
All right,
start off.
No, I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
start.
go ahead, Gaming Addict.
I definitely apologize for anything if I spoke over and you guys. I try to work on it, but I don't know why. Like when I get into some heated conversation.
No, Gaming Addict,
Nah,
you're
you're
the
good.
last person
Love
in and
the
the first
passion,
person
man.
out. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
All right, but I appreciate everyone that came by. I definitely still want to say fuck everybody, but I'll talk to everyone later.
Oh my god! Fuck cops!
Shit. Oh shit! Smooth, back up.
I think he's gone.
All right, go ahead, guys. Who's next?
I'll go. This is
Cycle.
Cycle Gamer. Follow me on Twitter at Cycle Gamer. Happy New Year.
So this is Jez. Oh yeah, Frog.
No, go ahead, Jez. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna.
And I got this is Grinds My Gears, Jez7780 on Twitter. Happy New Year and vote to 2018. Just get us out of January, please. No crazy announcement.
Awesome. Frog.
All right, this dope gaming with Frog. I cannot wait to play these big AAA games coming out for any console. Doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to all of them. Hopefully they're good. I'm looking forward to E3 this year, and Happy New Year's to everybody out there.
All right, Merc305.
All right, everybody, you can look me up on Twitter, Merc305, on Xbox Live, the same thing, Steam, PlayStation, everywhere. Hit me up.
Merc. All right, guys. I am the best bot. So thank you guys for watching episode 27 Playing Xbox. Catch us on the iTunes or catch this thing on demand in the next hour or so. Hit that like button if you haven't, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. As always, Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you are on the other side of the globe. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.